There we go. We are live. So, hello everyone, it's your favorite programming error that just refused to be fixed. Code here. And today, if you couldn't already tell, that was interesting. I guess my PC's kind of loud. The microphone's picking it up. Anyway, today we're gonna continue Genshin Impact again. Hooray for that. There's the game. To be fair, my PC is also pretty warm today, which is annoying, because I have specifically not booted up the game until like a few minutes before I went live. So there's no reason for my PC to be warm today. Oh well. I'm sure it'll last through the stream. Anyway. We have to wait until at least 8. So let's do that real quick. I was able to do everything yesterday before the time passed, by the way. All the dailies and even use some of my resin without the time passing, because I realized there might be dialogue when this happens. Also, nice to see you got the HP Tenacity helmet. Alright, nothing happens. Okay, I guess we just gotta go to our destination then. Alright, back to the Opera House. Back to investigation time. Now, do I have any idea of what happened? I didn't really think as much about it as I would have liked to. But, again, all I know is that someone from the theater troupe must be involved. If not someone from the theater troupe, definitely at least someone who has acts who is frequently in the Opera House. Another theory that could be is that the one who died, the one who was found as a victim, was actually working together with whoever was responsible, and they were just, you know, being used, so to say. And that's why they were discarded and killed afterwards. That feels like it could be the case, right?
Honestly, I'm not a big fan of opera.
Well, in any event, let's go back in. Enter the Opera House. And progress with what we did last time. Yeah, I have done the waiting game. It should be time now. Or did I still not wait long enough? You're telling me oh my god, I had plenty of time to spare in that case. Do I have to wait another full day? Despite the fact that I was able to do stuff off screen? Damn, okay. Yeah, okay then. Alright, let's participate in the trial. Now, I am not sure. I don't really have a full answer yet, so you know, getting into spoilers, so here. Yeah, alright, that's fair. See you around, Gabe. Thanks for the lurk. Also, hello, Spinne. Just in time.
I do. The whole situation is so confusing.
I do have some thoughts, but let's take things step by step. Yeah, step by step is the approach that you should take.
Impossible things don't just happen. We'll get to the truth one way or another.
And whether that truth is full of hope or full of despair, we'll see when we get there.
Even if everyone else suspects Lenny
Get
and
Sasnaway, not
at least we
Amogus,
will be
yes.
supporting them from the stands.
Also, Neon, what is that? What is
I
that
doubt
stupid
Verena
icon that
understands
you
any
have
more
there?
about
Oh
what
my
happens than
god.
we do.
What happened to your VIP icon? It looks so
Nadia.
different.
Well, we'll be going then.
So
Best
strange.
of luck to you.
Similar to how Spinne's icon changed. Alright, anyway, trial time.
Ah, finally, you're back. Well, how did your investigation go?
I don't think
To
we
be
found out
honest,
enough.
You might be disappointed.
Pink, green, colorblind? Ah, fair.
No. We're
And you see too
already
blurrily
very
to
grateful that
notice
you were willing
any
to help.
difference in the shape, I guess.
Well, now, don't you all look disappointed? Don't tell me that your investigation came up empty-handed.
I mean, we did find some
That
stuff,
was
just
to be
nothing concrete,
expected,
I
of
think.
course. The guilty
Nothing to
can
point
never
fingers
produce
yet.
Proof of their innocence. But don't let that stop you. I shall be terribly disappointed should you, my most anticipated foe, concede so easily.
Just you wait.
Since both parties are present, I declare that the trial regarding the magic show incident is now in session.
The time has come.
Firstly, in order for the audience to understand the causes and results of the incident, could we please have Mr. Linney explain the trick?
Not that time.
Yes,
Someone
of
else was
course.
already
I
crushed.
will explain while Lynette
Oh,
demonstrates
Fastback.
on
Hello,
stage.
welcome back. How have
All
you
the
been? Hope
necessary
you're doing
items
well.
have been prepared.
Linney clearly reveals the details of the magic trick. Everyone in the audience is
Thank
stunned.
you, Mr. Linney. In that case, I take your statement to be that you ran to and remained hidden within the magic box in the audience stands once the trick began, and thus could not have committed the crime. Is this correct?
Yes.
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
In that case, I call upon the prosecution, Lady Farina.
Would he have
Do you
had
wish
enough
to refute
time
his
to
statement
commit
in
the
any
crime
way?
and then hide?
Why,
Maybe.
Of course I do. Allow me to take the first shot and
Then
break
good,
this
that's
case
nice, that's
wide
nice.
Open. Mr. Linney is clearly lying.
Alright.
There is no way you could have been in the box the whole time if you were to abduct Halsey and murder Cowell. In fact, I'd say you were hardly in that tunnel at all.
But how else could he have gotten over to the
Your
other
hypothesis is
box?
based on the presumption that I'm guilty.
Oh, is that so? And if I may ask, what did you hear while you were inside your box?
The roaring countdown of the crowd, of course. That's how I kept track of the time and built anticipation
Just left the
for
library?
finale.
And you
Okay,
didn't
got
hear
some
anything
interesting
else
books,
at
I
all?
imagine.
Nothing that might leave an impression of any kind?
No, nothing.
I see. But when the count reached 30 seconds or so, there was a thud. One so loud that I believe practically everyone heard it.
That is true. That thought did happen.
Hey, hang on. Something's not right here.
How could Lily not know about that sound?
Yeah, I'm sure he could have heard a noise that loud from inside the box.
I was right by the
Huh.
box, and I definitely heard the thud.
Again, this is Genshin though. So he can't actually be the culprit.
Could those be?
This isn't Danganronpa. Characters with a vision do actually have some amount of plot armor here. Get peace and quiet, that is also fair. Always appreciate some peace and quiet. Probably represent the oratress's stance on the trial.
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to use the words of the magician himself.
Alright.
You never know what can happen in the blink of an eye. Indeed, it seems his alibi can also collapse in the blink of an eye.
That's not looking too good, I have to admit.
I have armed myself to do far more than smash your alibi. Confidence cannot go unfounded, and my foundations are rock solid. Tell me, aren't you and Lynette actually from the House of the Hearth?
The what? The what? Who? Why?
The hearth?
They're Fatui? Are they? Oh, now we're
No
getting to
wonder
some
they did
serious
something like this.
accusations.
So the serial disappearances were the Fatui's doing. Now it all makes sense.
I've got a
That's
feeling
some
that what
oh
happened on
boy.
stage probably wasn't just an accident.
Yeah, that's
That's
not looking too good.
Our identities have nothing to do with what happened.
They're not denying it though. So they are from the Fatui. Huh.
Then perhaps you could tell us everything
Pants are
that
my feet, but they
happened
look like-
during that 1 minute.
So fashion must hurt, is that it?
Your first priority is to prove yourself innocent after all. I'm sure there is little that needs to be kept secret now. Unless your script already has holes in it.
Do we have
The
anything else?
Outlander is speechless. My, oh my, don't they look flabbergasted?
Nah, not time to celebrate
Comes
yet.
confiding in
We can
this
figure
court,
something
I
out.
suppose. This was almost too easy. Good thing I made all those preparations. Seems the all-nighter I pulled last night is really paying off.
What preparations? What happened? Like the digging into their backstory?
Why didn't you tell us this before?
Linny and Lynette are Fatui. Well, that's it. I no longer represent you as your
Order!
attorney.
Order!
You can do this yourself. I
Mr. Linny,
don't stand up for
allow me to
Fatui.
establish the facts. Lady Farina has raised 2 points. First, when the thud was heard in the Opera House, you were neither in the box nor the tunnel. Second, you and Ms. Lynette are both members of the House of the Hearth. Are these claims true?
Well, the second one must be, right? There's no doubt about a magician's ability to con others. Given how Linny has concealed his identity, this could all have been set up beforehand. Plus, Child is here in Fontaine along with other house operatives. There must be some scheme at work here. We're no longer representing him, I guess. I've been a victim of such schemes before, and now...
Please answer my question, Mr. Linny.
I'm sorry.
Switching to the comfortable
Yes,
again.
they're true, Your Honor.
Wait, both of them are true?
I knew it!
So wait, he was neither in the box
That's
nor
it.
the
We
tunnel?
might as well move on to the sentencing already.
What should we do now?
Permission to speak, Your Honor. Charlotte, want you to defend... There's nothing to defend with him. We know he's a Fatui, and we know he commits crimes. I don't think we can defend him in any way. He does what he do.
Granted.
My client has withheld some key information. My defense cannot proceed.
In that case, what is your request?
I request a brief adjournment. There are things that must be discussed.
Is that really necessary? They're already as good as guilty.
There's always a
The
way.
defendant deceived their own attorneys. What is there left to discuss?
Order! Order, I say! Your request is reasonable, and we shall adjourn. This trial will reconvene in 1 hour.
Damn it, they know we were representing
You
them.
would stick to
And they
what
still
you
didn't tell us
insist,
everything.
Even after knowing what you do now,
Damn it all.
you certainly have more professionalism than I thought. In that case, my dear audience, let's allow the joy of victory to steep for a little while longer.
Alright, fine, let's discuss some more. While the court is adjourned, you meet with Linny and Lynette backstage in the Opera House. So,
Well, this is awkward. I didn't think the Hydro Archon would dig all that up. I'm
Well-
sorry, Traveler and Paimon.
still, could have mentioned that, potentially.
Yeah, sorry.
Would have been good to know a little earlier, before it took me completely off guard.
None of us knew where to start. We trusted you two. We based our entire reasoning on the assumption that you weren't bad guys.
And
Not
now
to
they
set
are,
them up or
yeah.
anything, but Paimon's really mad.
I'm very sorry. I know you're angry, and reasonably so, but please, let me
No
explain.
spoiling what's that.
I know you've clashed with the Fatui
You
several
don't
times
spoil
before.
here.
I wouldn't be surprised if just hearing the word is enough to make you upset.
I mean, we do also
But
kind
our
of get along with
organization is
Child,
very,
who's with the
very
Fatui,
large,
so you
and the
know.
Harbingers have very different personalities and goals.
Right now, we want to save people. As many as we can.
That's right. I'm sure we're on the same page when it comes to this nation and the disaster that its people might face.
Perhaps, but how do I know you're not deceiving me by just saying
I know
that?
if it weren't for our respective identities, we
It
could
didn't for
become
us,
good
I'm fine with-
friends.
Yes. One can still be angry
That's
though.
why I didn't wish
Secret
to flat out lie to
Fatui.
you, but chose to hide some details instead. The truth is very important, but being completely transparent about everything would see us spending more effort than we need to.
But how can we know this isn't all just another lie? Fair point. Again though, they're both playable characters. I have a feeling if they really, like, were these horrible people... Again, this isn't Danganronpa or Raincoat. People have plot armor in this. And they're playable. So, you know.
Right.
Good terms with
So
as good
be
as
the
you can
judge.
be
Heck,
on terms
if I
with
were
a
you,
Fatui,
I fear
Harbinger.
that I'd even struggle to trust me at this point.
And then there's, what was his name, Victor? I
You
think
met
that
a
was his
Fatui who
name.
works as a
The dude who,
magician,
will,
a
who is in
trickster by
Mondstadt for the
trade.
daily commissions and
All
then
by
later moves to
coincidence,
Sumeru.
But
He doesn't
still,
seem too
I'm
bad
asking
either.
you to trust me. I am no criminal.
Being good
At
terms.
least, not in this
Hey,
case.
he's still a douche,
Sorry.
but we're
Please
frenemies.
forgive us.
We can trust him to be our enemy.
Say that, but
Explain the other issue first. Where do you actually go when the trick was being performed?
right. Let's hear your answer first, and no lies now.
Again, why did you lie to me if you want me to help you?
Of course. I'll answer any question you ask. We've been trying to find out how the Oratrice operates. We want to know why it has consciousness. Why can it deliver sentences accurately? During our investigations, we learned that the machine's core is beneath it.
Wow,
From
damn.
that moment on, Lynette and I have been designing this box swap trick with the objective of getting close to the core.
Is that why you needed a whole minute?
That's right.
Oh,
truth,
just in
the
Fontaine
audience
on
would
good
take
terms.
about 75
I think in his
seconds to
story
count down
quest
from
we also
60,
were kind of
while I would only need 15
or
to get to the
definitely
opposite box.
improved. Like our
So,
relationship
after
with
jumping into
Charles
the tunnel,
definitely improved
I
with the
accessed
story
Opera
quest a
House
little bit.
basement via the vent and went to investigate the room in which the core is stored.
Oh,
That air vent
Yeah, I
was
can see
created
that.
during the construction of the tunnel specifically to execute this step.
I see, Fastback. Yeah, that does sound like a problem then, if Pyron reminds you of that person. Alright, and what did you find?
Well, nothing. As soon as I reached that room and was about to investigate, I heard someone's voice.
Okay. You did all that
Which
while
should have
performing
been
your trick.
impossible, of course. I was quite certain that I was the only one in the room. That voice seemed to recognize me and tried to speak to me. I chose to err on the side of caution and retreated the way I came. On the way back,
Interesting.
I saw the broken vase and the clothes on the ground, but the countdown was almost finished, so there wasn't time to give it any thought. After that, the homicide occurred just as you saw.
So by the time... Interesting. That means anyone could have been down there
Well,
during that
explains why
time.
you didn't hear the thud.
But why do you want to understand how the Oratrice operates?
Because of that prophecy
Ah,
I
you can
told
you can
about,
do
of
that. It's
course.
just walking.
We
It's not
must
gonna be
know
that
all
bad,
we
right?
can about this nation's secrets in order to deal with that prophesized crisis.
That's the only way we can save everyone.
So, there you have it. The whole truth. I swear, I didn't hide anything from you this time.
Are we
It
sure
was never
about
my wish
that?
to proceed under this cloud of mistrust either. But like I said earlier, you can be the judge. If you want to leave because you don't trust the Fatui, there's nothing I can do to stop
Can I
you.
still do that?
Well, Traveler, you decide. Paimon will follow your
I don't
lead
think I have
wherever
an
you
option
choose.
here. I think I believe in the facts. Alright, you know what? That's fair. We'll keep representing your side. And if there's nothing we can do, because you're lying as bitch, then there's nothing we can do. I will defend you from these charges. Believe the judgment will be dispensed as it should.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for giving us a chance.
The current problem is that the scales are tipped pretty badly against you two. If we want to refute the Hydro Archon's accusations, we're gonna need a seriously watertight defense.
What's with all the water stuff? Just because we're in the Hydro Nation. Actually, we already have the key evidence we need.
Huh?
The adjournment's almost over, let's go back. The key evidence we need... If we're talking about the fact that he barely had any time to commit the murder and that he wasn't there... but how do we prove that? We can't prove his words, can we?
Oh,
Stating, yeah,
Paimon thinks she gets what you mean.
As he headed to the chamber containing the Oratrice core, upon entering the tunnel, he did not witness the crime taking place and thus did not hear the thud. Is there some way to prove that he wasn't there during that time? That's the question. Voice in the Oratrice core chamber. Lenny claims to have heard a mysterious voice within the chamber that houses the Oratrice core within the Opera House's underground structures. Maybe if someone is willing to confess to being down there? Guess we'll go back in. Continue the trial. Brief adjournment ends and the nail-biting trial reconvenes.
Both parties
Got a
have
drop?
returned to their positions.
Nice. Keep
Let us
getting them
continue
drops.
the trial. When last we left off, Mr. Linney acknowledged the new evidence presented by
I
Lady
enabled them
Farina
for a
as
reason.
fact.
Because it was easy to
Therefore,
enable
Lady
them.
Farina may continue stating her reconstruction of the events.
That took long enough. Now then, if everyone would lend me their attention. At this stage,
Alright.
let's revisit that scene from Linny's perspective.
Dramatic finger pointing. Based on the opposition's account of events, you can identify loopholes in their statement. Use evidence and clues obtained during the investigation to refute any erroneous assertions of fact and replace them with new inferences. Use your refutations to convince the audience and obtain more support from the people. The orators will display such shifts clearly. When you find and refute all incorrect content, you can complete the cycle of refutation and unveil the truth. Begin refutation.
As the countdown began, he entered the tunnel.
That much is true.
When the flatbed trolley passed, he opened the box and got into an altercation with Halsey, which caused the loud thud.
He wasn't there during that time.
He did not realize that the sound could be heard by everyone in the opera house, which is why he claimed earlier that he could not hear the sound.
So that is objection. Nuh-uh. Yes. The problem is, again, we can't really prove that, can we? We can only tell them what he told us.
Knock her out before making her change clothes to prevent others from recognizing her. At this time, Cowell arrived in the tunnel, having heard that strange noise, and caught Linny red-handed. So Linny proceeded to knock him out too before stuffing him into that box. Afterward, Linny passed the unconscious Halsey to his accomplice through the magic box in the audience stands, before operating the devices such that Cowell's death would be ruled an accident.
Question. If he didn't know that Cowell would interrupt him and be a witness, then why did he set up everything like this beforehand? Because it clearly must have been set up beforehand. She doesn't have red hands, yes. Again, the crime of crushing the victim here was clearly set up beforehand. If Cowell caught him red-handed, that doesn't make sense for him to then do this.
And there you have it. That's the truth behind what happened.
Doubt
Does the
it.
defendant's side have any objections to Lady Farina's description of the events?
I do.
The key to refuting Lady Farina is the order of events, what Linny experienced, and what he saw.
Main character voice line! Alright. Alright, let's see. Attacked her. Also knocked Cowell out. Tunnel, the crime had already taken place. Really? Was he really in the tunnel at the time? No, we know he wasn't, but we can't really prove it. He claimed that he heard nothing in order to cover it up. Was he really in the tunnel? Existing evidence indicates that when Linny returned to the tunnel, had already taken place. What he saw was the clothing. Let me think real quick. Yeah, that would make sense with the ordering. He wasn't in the tunnel, but we can't really prove that. Do we just have to use his words as evidence? I guess I'll try that. Statement. The chamber did not witness and thus did not hear the thud. It's fine, that he heard nothing. I guess this, maybe? Again, it's not hard evidence, though. Remains unknown. Heard a mysterious voice within the chamber. For the stupid. Ah, yes. I'll try this. His statement that he wasn't there.
According to Linny, he left via the vent after entering the tunnel. He couldn't have had that altercation with Halsey.
I have to identify each and every one. Entered the tunnel as the countdown began. That is true. Is he really in the tunnel at that time? Knocked him out of the vase, leading to the victim's stuff. When he returned to the tunnel, crime had already taken place. All Linny saw was the clothing. I guess all Linny saw was young lady's clothes. I guess it's trying to set it up for me to pick this. Because that's what he saw. That doesn't make sense how it would contradict anything. Crashed down, everything seemed like an accident. Okay, hang on. Entrances and exits. The voice, definitely not. So, dude, it's hot for me too. Pain. The voice, entrances and exits. Strange sound. I guess I'll just do this because it seems to set it up. All that Linny saw was the clothing. It sets it up for me. I don't see how it contradicts anything here, though.
Linny did not take part in the underground altercation. He only witnessed traces of the aftermath.
I mean, again, but that's just what he says. Flying, that doesn't help. Yeah, that wouldn't help. That's true. Kidnapped. Was he really in the tunnel at the time? We have here meticulously designed prop activates. Make everything seem like an accident. Enter the tunnel. I want to refute this, but I don't know what you would use to refute that. Was he really in the tunnel at that time? That much I guess we can say. The voice, he heard the voice.
Linny went to the room that contains the Oratrice's core. This is the actual truth.
Okay, those were the ones I have to... Okay.
Attention! Ace Detective Paimon has something to say!
I am the detective, but sure. Okay, whatever, Paimon.
When the countdown started, Linny did indeed go into the tunnel. But he immediately used a vent to access the Opera House basement.
Yes.
Which is where the underground core of the Oratrice is stored. Once he reached that area, he heard a voice in what should have been an empty room. Since he felt something was amiss, he returned immediately.
Well, Another reason I was trapped by myself. Yeah.
The crime scene.
We saw him vent. Actually admitted to venting.
The tunnel again, and in order to complete the magic trick, he did not remain there for any length of time. Finally, he reached the surface, and that was when the accident happened from his point of view. Therefore, he's innocent.
There's gonna be more evidence to refute, you just know it. But this will hopefully shift it a bit more in our favor. And that balances it out. Nice. Successful refutation. First try. That's how you do it, baby. Again, master detective on the case here.
Paimon did it! Paimon actually managed to say all that! Wasn't it awesome?
You could have given me more credit for doing all the reasoning.
You believe that he knew nothing of the incident?
That's right!
Moreover, I believe my opposition's reasoning is flawed.
My reasoning?
The on-stage equipment was clearly tampered with in a premeditated fashion. That's what I said earlier.
If that's the case, then if Cowell hadn't entered the tunnel, who was the entire setup meant to kill? Assuming that what you say is true, Linny only needed to kidnap the young girl to cause a new disappearance case.
Very
What
true.
would the point of killing someone on stage be?
Oh, they have a point.
That's right, you tell him!
Paimon's tiny brain.
That's
Yeah.
why they're partners of mine. They've managed to turn things around.
Big
Well,
words, yes.
Your
Very
denial
hard.
is very strident. I'll give you that. But what proof do you have to back your claims?
Do you happen to remember how you refuted Linny's alibi initially?
Of course I do. If he had been in the magic box the whole time, how could he have not heard that sound? Why do you ask? You're saying that he wasn't?
Claim has now become my weapon! What do you mean I have to choose? Oh, up here. Which is the evidence that Linny wasn't in the tunnel when the crime took place? Oh, how much do you like? Is that supposed to say... Wait, Nadia? Like... I don't know. Okay. Which is the evidence that Linny wasn't in the tunnel when the crime took place? Well, the thought, we just said that, right? Strange sound during the magic show. We just said that, right?
That's right! Linny wasn't
Chill.
in the box or in the tunnel.
We'll
That's
see.
why he didn't hear anything
I haven't formed
strange
any
during
strong
the
opinions
performance.
yet. But I do sim zhongli specifically, not just because of the element, you know?
Entered the basement via the vent. The same clue you used to disprove his alibi has now become the best proof. How do you like that?
Well played.
To think you'd use such logic.
Imagine that!
Well then, if it wasn't Linny who committed the
And this is
crime,
supposed to be
then
an
who
Archon?
wasn't?
The murderer was... Select the gear icons in the interface to check corresponding case questions. Select answers that and fill all the empty gears to verify the correctness of your deduction. If you have made mistakes, you must make another selection from the remaining options. Use of power? Yeah, imagine. Yes, or ban. As long as you're joking, it's fine. Jokes are okay. Once you have answered all the questions correctly, you can complete this logic chain. Okay. The guard's investigation report indicates that the fireworks released near the end of the show ignited and burned through the rope suspending the water tank above the stage. This caused the water tank to fall and kill Cowell in the box below. If Linny is no longer under suspicion, only the other members of the troupe would have been able to tamper with the props. That much is obvious. I figured as much out. Linny gave a detailed account of how the trick was supposed to work by using a box inside a box. The idea was for the box containing the audience member to be transported across via a tunnel underneath, and Linny himself would also use this tunnel to get to the other side. Having changed her outfit, Lynette and her assistant would take charge of on-stage interactions. The clothes belonging to Halsey, the lady who went missing, were found in the tunnel. The reason for this remains unknown. More detailed information.
Could there have been a third person involved? Is that really a possibility?
We don't have enough evidence for that.
Halsey is the missing person and an ordinary audience member. Or did she have her own scheme all along?
It couldn't have been her. Again, it has to be someone from the troupe.
The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment.
Okay, here's the dealio. We have, like, little evidence to prove that there was a third person. But the thing is, Linny said he heard a voice while he was in the vent, but that came from the core room, not from the tunnel behind him. But that does prove that there was someone else around. But that person would have had to sneak past Linny, which means it makes the third person still very unlikely. Definitely wasn't the victim. Definitely wasn't the missing person. So I know it can't be the middle choice. But why would he...
The deceased's name is Cowell.
Why would Cowell do this? If he ended up dying because of it. He is sadly the only suspect that fits right now, I think. Because again, we don't have enough evidence to prove that a third person had access to the scene. So I'm gonna have to go with him. But we don't know why he would do that yet, unless his death wasn't fully planned.
Huh? That can't be right. Are you serious? The killer was, in fact, Cowell, the deceased!
Oh, is that so? How interesting! Let's hear your reasoning.
He would have had access to everything at the very
What I
least.
must do next is recreate the truth. What Cowell did, and how he went from would-be perpetrator to victim.
Alright. How can we envisage Linny as having been unable to interfere with the crime? Unable to interfere with the crime?
Linny was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our criminal ample time.
Yes. That's how we... Right? Yeah. How can I prove that there was an altercation in the tunnel? The broken vase, I
No one
guess?
entered or left the opera house.
No?
The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal.
Yes. Who is the prime suspect currently?
The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment.
Yes. And where did the missing Halsey go?
It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. They would likely have bumped into Linny as well.
So that can't be it.
No one entered or left the opera house through its entrances. So where would the criminal have wanted to take Halsey? Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel, so there must have been some fear that she would attract attention.
So I guess she's still here then,
No
is
one
what we're
entered
saying.
or left the
We're saying she's still here and hiding. No?
Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent.
Yeah, they would
They
have bumped into
likely have
Linny.
bumped into Linny as
Is that it? Is that why he heard the voice? Is that why he heard the voice, maybe? Are we saying that's the case? But again... Imagine. Yeah, I know, right? Again, this is just
Halsey's
saying
clothing was
attracting
in the
attention.
tunnel.
That's not a location.
It would have been
then this is the only other thing that makes sense. And if it's the clothes and we're saying she's still here, then I'm gonna say, well then why not just let me use, there's no entrances or exits, she's still here. Okay, then let me say,
clothing was in the tunnel, so there must have been some fear that she would attract attention.
there must have been some fear that she would attract attention. Then let me ask you this. What is wrong with my assessment that she is hiding here? Again, both this and the fact that, hey, no entrances or exits, she couldn't have left the building. They both seem to amount to the same thing, that she's hiding among the group in the audience. It's the same exact theory, just using a different piece of evidence. It makes just as much sense as what I said initially. Fuck you, game. What do you mean incorrect? It was literally the only option that was left. Oh, I see how it is. So there was no correct option? So there was no correct option. Okay, never mind, I take everything back. I couldn't have won this. Krill must have understood the methods behind Lenny's magic trick and must have been in a position to easily modify the equipment. Leaving aside how he died, Cowell had all the means to commit the crime at his disposal. The strange noise would likely have been the sound of Cowell and Halsey struggling. Lenny was not in the tunnel for 1 minute. This would have given time for Cowell to bring Halsey out of the magic box in the audience stands. But according to the guard's testimony, no one entered or left the opera house, so even if they had taken her, there'd be no means of exiting. Exiting from the box would have been in full view of the audience, pretty much guaranteeing that they would be discovered.
What's wrong, Traveler? Are you still having trouble figuring things out?
Where in the world did Halsey go?
I see how it is. So this was all just a bluff. And here I thought you had something to show for it. But it seems you're still far from the truth.
Look, since we're at a dead end, why not consider a different track?
Oh?
Just like the trick as it transpired, the end result must have been utterly different from the magician's initial design.
If only we knew how Halsey disappeared.
Well, that would be nice, but the tunnel only has 3 exits, and none of them seem very likely.
Yes, unless she hid in there.
It's not like this is a magic trick where you can just make a real live person disappear. You know, like you did from that water tank.
Magic. Escaping from the water tank, you say? Wait, could it have been the water, like the vase, you mean?
Excuse my interruption, dear opponents, but do you not see that the crowd is growing impatient? There is no greater sin in this opera house than an awkward delay in the performance.
If the defense is unable to make further effective arguments, we will move on to the next stage of the trial.
Oh, hold on a sec. Hold it!
Lenny was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our criminal ample time.
Yes?
The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal.
Yes?
The deceased's name is Cowell, Lenny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment.
That is also true. We know this much. And now...
The vase was not broken by chance. It was used to cover important evidence. The water.
But... this must... So it has something to do with the disappearance trick from the water tank above. Is that it? But how? How does it connect? Let's see.
It all comes together if Halsey disappeared instead of being kidnapped.
But how and where to?
Lynette escaped from the water tank, vanishing gradually and leaving only clothes behind.
And true, her clothes were left behind on the scene.
A similar method where a person could be transformed into water
Well, Linny.
Just a moment, please. I do hope you know how preposterous you sound at the moment.
Linny, explain the water tank trick.
How could a person ever be transformed into water? This is reality we're talking about here, not some magic trick.
I request that we examine Cowl's personal effects.
Must we really? I should think that of anyone. Your friend Linny already knows this truth very well.
Well,
Magic tricks are ultimately just illusions and misdirection. But Halsey's
Usually.
disappearance is very real. We're talking about two completely different things.
Even so, I trust the traveler's judgment.
well then, let's check it
The
out,
truth
see what
must
we
be out
got.
there somewhere.
What if she was
Perhaps a new line of
liquefied?
reasoning may open if we try to gather all the focal points that don't
Liquefied,
make
just like
sense.
how we got the Mondo
Since
bottle.
Cal was the deceased, we haven't placed much attention on him. But given
It
that
is
we
true.
aren't making much progress with the case, it wouldn't hurt to have a look at his belongings, would it?
People really
Come
do
on.
come up with all sorts of hair.
Let's turn this around.
When at the end of their rope. The way I see it, your suggestion that we broaden the scope of our investigation is nothing but a tactic for stalling the trial.
Well,
Nevertheless, I believe that this is a reasonable request
It
on
is.
the part of an attorney. Since the trial does
Look
indeed
at you,
appear to be at an impasse,
talking
I believe that
talking
additional
over your
evidence may help
Archon.
us make more
Oh
progress.
no, going against the Archon, how
Guards,
could you?
Please step into the lounge and examine the personal effects of the deceased Cowl.
After some time, a guard returns with news.
We are still examining the items, but we have already made critical progress that we feel must be shared with everyone post-haste.
Alright,
We
what have you
discovered
found?
Several test tubes of fluid within Cowl's baggage, each labeled separately.
And what do they
The
say?
notebook in his backpack claims that these fluids are water from the primordial sea.
The primordial sea.
The note's contents also indicate that Cowl belonged to an organization that sells illegal drugs and that he had an accomplice.
An accomplice
The notebook
too.
has many entries concerning safe use.
Alright, and now we know that he was
in which
shady
the
as fuck.
keyword dissolve appears many times. One of these tubes was labeled Opera Epiclese, along with yesterday's date. It is empty.
So they did liquefy her.
The notes also state that these dissolution properties work exclusively on people from Fontaine. It's likely that Halsey was chosen as some sort of test subject.
Does this have something to do with
As
the
such, we
original,
believe
with the
that
sin they're
defense's
talking about that everyone is
hypothesis
born with in Fontaine?
fact, supported by sufficient evidence.
You gotta be kidding! People dissolving into water?
Could something so ridiculous actually be true?
Wait a moment. This reminds me of a certain prophecy, but it's just a coincidence, isn't it?
Huh. If people can become water, does that mean that the water tank's real use was as a means to hide water stains? And if Cowl was targeting that girl...
Then...
Just a minute. Could that mean... You two, with me, quick!
Yeah, that water down there is actually the girl.
What about your partners?
We got
Let's
this.
go. Just trust me.
We got this.
Order! Order!
Okay.
It is undeniable that further examination of the deceased's personal effects has yielded some surprising results. But we cannot yet verify the veracity of these clues.
Well, I feel like it at
Let
least
us
proves he
assume
was
that
a
these
shady
clues are
motherfucker.
indeed authentic, albeit with the understanding
Also,
that
he had
Miss
access to
Halsey has yet
everything.
be found. Guards, please continue examining the items along these lines. Mr. Linney, it appears your hypothesis is supported by the evidence.
There we go.
So please continue speaking.
Let's
Of
go.
course. Thank you, Your Honor. If we uphold this hypothesis, I believe that many of this case's seemingly unrelated clues can be connected together.
Right! Like the metal hook! That one didn't make sense at all. Let's think about this. Cowl's methods must have something to do with that water from the primordial sea.
Alright, we have new evidence. The liquid the guards found in Cowl's luggage seems to have the ability to dissolve Fontainians into water. Who is the prime suspect?
The deceased's name is Cowl.
What item did the culprit use to control the timing of the dissolution? What else do we have?
Lynette was in the magic box on stage the entire time.
No, that has nothing to do with it.
There was something else within the inner layer of that box.
Was it
The
just
water
this?
from the primordial sea should
But what does that
already
have to do
been
with the
prepped
timing?
Before Halsey entered the magic box.
Maybe then it is
And
this.
now it seems like the hook rope was not meant for another magic trick.
As a
It was
triggering,
instead
yeah, there we
some form
go.
of triggering mechanism.
So that's how he controlled the timing then. What item did he use to dissolve?
Water
Yes.
From the primordial sea.
And what item did the culprit use to hide the mechanism behind the crime? Wasn't the rope, was it?
Lynette was in the magic box on stage the
No.
I remember there was something else.
Was it just the
The
rope?
rope that held the water tank up was lit by the fireworks and snapped. As such, the focus here is on the water and not the tank.
Is it this then? Right, because the hook on a rope, was that somehow connected to everything then? So was the drop the timing that triggered the... No, it's not. Okay. And here I was overthinking it.
I remember there was something else.
Then it has to be that, because it
was
can't
in
be
the magic
Lynette.
box on stage the entire time. Did she have something to do with this?
Couldn't be.
I remember there was something else.
Unless... Hang on. Then, when the victim showed up, she must have gone down again, right? That said was escaped downwards. Maybe her going down? By any mechanism? I know that the rope was burned. I know that much. What I thought is... Again, it's not that the rope was triggered, it's that the rope triggered something else. We're trying to think what triggered the mechanism. And I was thinking maybe the rope snapping and everything, because it's connected to this hook, it might have been somehow connected. That it might have been connected to the hook, and when the rope burned and, you know, detached, that somehow caused the rope that whatever the hook was attached to loosen, thus triggering the process. I am not saying that the rope burning was caused. I am saying it caused something else, as is obviously the thing here. What item did the culprit use to hide the mechanism? The mechanism of the crime.
Lynette was in the magic box on stage the entire time. I remember there was something else within the inner layer of that box.
Are we saying...
Lynette was in the magic box.
Are we maybe saying that when Lynette went down, she somehow triggered it by, I don't know, running into the hook or something?
I remember there was... Lynette
Maybe.
was in the magic box.
Maybe.
I remember there was...
Are we talking that the... Or are we saying that the inner box, that as it moved across the tracks, somehow caused it to happen? I'm gonna say when it was moving along the tracks, the hook was attached to it, and it pulled something over. Okay, that is it then. Okay, that works.
It's Ace Detective Paimon's time to shine again!
And I hate Paimon
In
again.
the original plan, Cowell would tamper with the water tank rope, and the number selector securing his target. When the
Yes.
magic box containing Halsey was lowered, the metal hook would retract gradually and pierce the balloon at the top of the box. When the
Oh,
balloon attached
that's
to the
what we're
box
saying.
popped, the water from the primordial seed inside it would pour down and dissolve Halsey. Afterward, Cowl would enter the tunnel and break the flower vase to conceal the water inside the tunnel, with the remaining evidence being covered up by the water tank on stage. But he encountered something unexpected in the tunnel, and wound up being fatally hit by the same water tank he meant to use to cover his tracks.
Huh. That does make sense.
Alright.
Actually links together a lot of the more confusing pieces of evidence.
Look at that, we're gaining favor again. Why do we only ever balance things out? Why do we never gain a favor of the audience?
Even I think they sound convincing now. Have I falsely accused an innocent person? What a humiliation.
I'm humiliating a god, let's
Seems
go.
like the only point of contention remaining is the exact circumstances that led to Cal's death. His notes mentioned he had an accomplice who could be related to the situation.
Yes.
On that note, the guards have just contacted me indicating that they uncovered new evidence.
Oh?
I shall now invite him on stage to share it with us.
Thank you, Your Honor. We were just inspecting the luggage of the other people involved in this case.
Oh?
And we found an identical sample of the water from the primordial sea among Linny's personal effects.
That was slipped in his pocket. They slipped him that. Oh, they definitely just slipped that into his possessions at some
To have your
point.
own counterattack only to come back and wound you. Does this not clear all doubt? My dear citizens.
What if one of the guards is actually in on it? What if one of the guards who investigated is behind, is like the assistant, the accomplice in the crime? Begin refutation.
Linny did not need to take part in the dissolution of the young woman at all. Indeed, he did leave the scene via the vent. Having made modifications to the props beforehand, his accomplice Cowl then caused Halsey to vanish using the water from the primordial sea. But upon his return, in cruel avarice, Linny desired sole credit and prepared to do away with his partner in crime.
But why?
Ultimately, he knocked Cowl out, and the tool meant to cover
Why
the crime
would-
up also became a murder weapon. Now, as much as I regret having come to such a viciously straightforward conclusion, it does seem that the
Sus.
famed Fatui is quite the cold-blooded and ruthless organization.
I mean, that much is true. The Fatui do suck, generally.
Am I right, Mr. Linny?
Isn't that right?
We've used up all the evidence we collected. There's no way for us to make a rebuttal here. Is this the end of the road?
Ah, there has to be more. Stop tilting it over! No, that's wrong!
Paimon can't think of anything either. It doesn't look like there's any way around this. Seems using the
Come
water
on.
as new evidence was too good a move. Why did this have to happen now?
Come on, think.
I think we've all seen enough now, and we have ample witnesses to my flawless reasoning. I believe this is indeed the finale.
Just you wait.
Now then, my good, noble Chief Justice, should we not, in your view, move...
Oh.
Excuse me, everyone, but I must interject.
Miss,
Thanks
I
for
must
being
ask
back.
you not to shout and to respect the ongoing legal proceedings.
Unless you have found
Come on,
evidence.
Don't be hasty. I have a good reason for interrupting, you know. Now, would anyone here like to take a little break from all this debate and see a little magic?
More
I'll show
magic?
You an amazing trick. One that can bring a young woman who has disappeared back in the flesh, right before your very eyes. Please, do the
So
honors,
can you
Mr.
inverse
Liddy,
the
if you
effects
would
of
be so
that
kind.
liquid then?
What in the world is she saying?
No offense, miss, but miracles like that are beyond my scope as a magician.
Unless...
Come on now, don't be silly.
Magic is all about misdirection, isn't it? It often conceals the truth while presenting a fascinating illusion. But once everyone believes the illusion, can't magic reveal the truth to them once again?
They're setting up the box again?
And wouldn't such a trick be the most marvelous finale to today's performance? Come on, Lenny and Lynette. Give it another go. Don't worry.
They are setting it up again, huh?
Arrangements on your behalf. But as the magic makers and stars of the show, I think I should leave the final performance to you.
I understand.
The audience knows how the tricks works, though, so at least the disappearance trick isn't gonna look nearly as good. But if it's just like her coming out of the box now...
Voila.
Are we finishing the trick? Did they figure out how to inverse the effects?
Sorry for the interruption.
New clothing?
Wait, isn't that Halsey? So the whole thing about people dissolving wasn't true after all?
To be clear, I'm only here because this person told me that if I testified, the merit of doing so would lessen my sentence. I was hiding outside this room listening to the proceedings because I was afraid that I would be the one put on trial. I was just feeling happy that no one had noticed me, and then before I knew it, she caught me.
So is it what I thought, that, like, one of my initial theories was that she was attacked and she turned it around somehow?
I'm sorry. I'm the one who killed Cowl. I admit it.
What? Why?
Firstly, my name isn't Halsey. It's Lillian, and I'm originally from Mondstadt.
Oh?
I heard that Linny's show was gonna be a real thriller, but I missed the chance to buy a ticket, so I stole one. That's how I make a living. I steal stuff here and there, and I'd never been caught before. But I was noticed at the harbor a few days ago, and I barely got away. Linny was the one who caught me.
So it was her! She was the thief!
Hey, no wonder you look familiar. So you were the
It all comes back. All comes back around.
Well, and I thought that would have been the end of it, but then the number selector chose me. He even mentioned the Fortress of Meripede. That's a prison, isn't it? So you can imagine how shocked I was. I thought he was onto me for sure. So I played along with the show while looking for an opening to flee. But then I got water poured on me for no reason, and then someone jumped into the tunnel to
So that's why he encountered something
I
unexpected.
wasn't going to take that lying down, so I knocked him out and stuffed him into the box. There was nowhere to run from there, though, so I had to change my clothes and hide in a box.
Okay, so that
containing
explains everything, because it only works on people from
I
Fontaine.
slipped out after the first guard arrived at the scene and continued.
And we already knew that
inside
he
the
must have
opera
encountered
house.
something unexpected to end up there.
Can a person even hide in there?
So that is what I said initially, right? My initial theory? Cowell tried to kill the lady, and she turned it around. When did I say that? I definitely said that in my previous stream, right? But I wasn't entirely certain if that's... Right, the one thing that I said that would seem odd about that theory is that the victim couldn't have possibly known that that would lead to death. And maybe she didn't know that it would lead to death, but then why put him in the box? Unless, of course, the fight happened partially in the box, and when he was knocked out, he was still in it. If they're a practiced hand at consumer, probably a professional thief could make it work.
But I swear, I didn't know that the water tank would fall down. Really.
All right,
I
so
swear
that.
it.
But then why put him in the
Had I known
box?
that, I wouldn't have put him in the magic box. I may be a thief, but I'm no killer.
All right, so just to go along with the trick in a way, I guess.
Clear now, doesn't it?
Yeah, now it's time to refute the Hydra Archon's previous reasoning.
This time, we need to tell the entire story from Lily-Ann's perspective.
Alright, let's do this once again. Lily entered the tunnel and used the ventilation shaft. True. She wasn't dissolved. She was not dissolved. Right? Now we know she wasn't dissolved. Completely. Oh, right. For eyes. How Halsey have reacted when the water from the Halsey suddenly began to trickle in. Fighting between Linny and Cole. She appeared completely unharmed before the eyes. Conjecture no longer holds water. Evidence proving that a fight did indeed break out in the tunnel. That would be this, right? Yeah.
The flower vase was not broken to cover anything up, but it was smashed during the struggle between Lillian and Cowell.
Alright. Knocked him out. Says appeared unharmed before eyes. Holds up. After the fight, what did Halsey do? She put him in the box and took off her clothes. What's this? Strange sound. Let's see what else we have first. Stone, make it look like everything was an accident. Do we have anything that goes along with that? Not really. Still doesn't make sense though why the random number selector was set up. That is the only thing that I still don't quite understand, why it was specifically targeted at her. I guess it's just a sad coincidence. There was another girl that was supposed to sit there, and they looked similar enough, I guess. How would Halsey have reacted? Is that when she took off the clothes? Maybe? No. Alright then. What did Halsey do? That is when she did. Are we saying, like, here it's the knockout, right? Yeah. It's not a loophole if I say that the sound happened there. What did she do? Do I say that the sound is what happened here, or do I say she took off her clothes here? Accident, yeah, this, again, this much is true. It could be either one. It could be she took off her clothes, it could be this. I'm gonna say... they are talking about her taking off her clothes? Yes.
Lillian was afraid that she would be recognized if she left, so she changed clothes and hid, biding her time. Just what one might expect of an experienced thief.
Okay, we still have some more. It will probably be this. How would she have reacted? Maybe the thump was caused because she moved or she moved and hit her, like moved and tried to get out of the box, maybe? Maybe that's what the thump is then supposed to be? It is. Okay.
The sound wasn't from a fight. It was Lillian's attempt to break out when she was frightened.
Okay, so that's where that goes.
And it's Ace Detective Paimon time!
Paimon, stop stealing credit! I am the one who put all this together.
Out of the blue, Lillian panicked. Her panic only intensified after she entered the tunnel and had water poured on her head. So she kicked the door open, producing the thud we all heard. Hearing the commotion, Cowell leapt into the tunnel, only to discover that Lillian had not dissolved.
It still doesn't explain two things. One, the voice Linny heard. Two, why the random number generator was targeting that specific person.
Did not know that Lillian was not from Fontaine, but was a thief who made her way in by stealing a ticket. Mistakenly believing that the water from the primordial sea needed time to take effect, he tried to force Lillian back into the box.
Alright.
The two broke the flower vase during the struggle, but Lillian came out on top, knocking Cowell out and putting him in the box. With no way of escaping,
So much energy put into that voice, huh?
in the costume trunk until the performance ended.
And it balances out again. Can we ever shift this in our favor, please? Or will we only ever be able to balance it out just barely?
She knew that she would have to go through garden.
This is the truth of the case.
Afterward, so she has been trapped in the opera house these last 2 days.
She had already become desperately hungry by the time we were chatting over macarons. So, she swiped 2 of them
And
right
that's
under
how
our
they
noses.
disappeared.
Talk about a sneaky thief.
At this point, all the events that happened in the tunnel have now come to light.
Ah, so that's the whole story.
Bravo! Bravo!
Ah, finally it shifts in our favor.
Now then, Lady Farina, do you wish to speak against the defense's statements?
Did I just triumph over another god?
Answer the
Why,
question,
yes, yes, I
Lady
did.
Farina. Also, if I may add, the trial has not yet ended. As such, I request that the prosecution not leave the room before the proceedings have concluded.
Oh, call out.
What? Are you reading my mind now? No, I have no further arguments. I admit defeat. But really, could you at least have left me with some dignity?
No. You're a god, you have enough dignity as is.
Now,
If there are no objections, then as the Chief Justice of Fontaine, I shall once again repeat the full sequence of events. The actual perpetrator
Here
of
we
the serial
go.
disappearances, Cowell, selected his next victim from the audience reservation list. With some modifications to the selector, he could ensure that the pre-selected young woman would be chosen. To cover up any evidence
And
while
the
committing
thief
the
just
deed,
inconveniently
Cowell thought of
stole
allowing
the
a
wrong
water tank to
ticket.
fall, which would conceal the water left behind after the young woman was dissolved. He also tampered with the rope suspending the water tank, using the fireworks at the end of the performance to cause the tank to drop and hide the watermarks. He poured the water from the primordial sea into a balloon during the preparation of the magic box and stuck it to the box's lid. Finally, he passed the prepared hook on a rope through the gap in the magic box's door when bringing the young woman to said box. When the magic trick officially began, the box containing the woman was lowered into the tunnel, tightening the hook rope and bursting the balloon containing the water. If all had gone to plan, the young woman would be dissolved at this time. However, Lillian was not from
Just
Fontaine,
confused.
and thus fled the box with a loud noise. Realizing that there was trouble, Cowell entered the tunnel and met Lillian. Thinking that the waters had not yet taken effect, he decided to proceed. However, his opponent
was a
more capable
fool.
than he thought, and he was overcome, knocked unconscious.
Yeah, I didn't think it
and
was a
placed
thief.
into the
Just thought it
magic
was
box.
just some random
Thus
person.
became his own final victim. Lillian, according to her own statements, then changed clothes and hid until the performance ended, before hiding in other parts of the opera house. As for Linny, he was in the underground structures within the opera house, and was thus ignorant of these happenings.
But still,
From
there are
this
still some
reconstruction of
mysteries.
events, we can conclude that Linny, the accused, is in fact innocent. While there is much in Linny,
Well, I
and
guess I
Lillian's
am just
conduct
an
that should
amazing
still be
attorney slash
investigated
detective.
Separately, this case, at least, can be handed over to the Oratrice to make the final decision.
Oh, nice animations. And with that, it is done.
As such, Linny and Lynette are officially declared not guilty.
I think you mean Master Detective Code.
Partner.
let's not celebrate just yet.
Next, I think we deserve an explanation, Guard Vaughn. How did you find the water from the primordial sea in Linny's baggage?
Yeah.
Right.
The accomplice's
Your discovery
identity.
caused me to make a serious
We still
mistake,
haven't
you know.
heard that.
Or was that not a discovery, but false evidence that you dare to bring before this court?
I suspect that the accomplice mentioned in Cowell's notes was not Linny, but you, yes?
Oh, snap. I figured it might have been a guard.
I'm sure you know what you must do to lessen your sentence.
Speak quickly, unless you want to earn yourself a one-way ticket to Coupon Town.
I was just following orders.
Whose
We were supposed
orders?
to place blame for the serial disappearances onto Linny, and thus cause suspicion to fall on the F2P. The higher-ups said this was the best opportunity to do so.
Alright,
And now that
what
your plan has
higher-ups?
fallen through, and the secrets of the water have been revealed, you have become a liability to said higher-ups, yes? Therefore, you would be wise to tell everything you know and seek the protection of the guards.
Yes, I'll tell you everything I know.
Cue an
Our
assassination.
boss discovered that the water can
Never mind,
cause
no
people to
assassination yet.
dissolve. It can also be made into a potion, which when extremely diluted, can cause people to experience unforgettable exhilaration. We've been in this business for a while now, and have made decent more off it. The disappearances were also the boss's idea. I mean, this is the boss we're talking about.
Who is the boss? Oh! Yeah, I knew he would die. He turned into water. Now the question is, what triggered that? Do all the people who work for this boss have like the stuff on them and it can be remotely broken? I don't know. Like if they have like a little bottle of that stuff constantly on their person with like some kind of detonator in it. Maybe. Turn into water.
And now he can no longer talk.
Such ruthlessness. I shouldn't have expected any less of them.
An outrageous act. All present, please submit to inspection immediately.
Oh boy. This is gonna continue, huh? However, nothing is found on the scene apart from the liquid left behind after he dissolved.
So, we're just going back now?
I guess. The problem seems to have been solved for now.
That's true.
I guess this is like,
Trevor,
we're wrapping up
time
this
on.
act now, I imagine.
Please wait.
Unless...
Winnie.
I know you may not want to speak to me right now. Maybe you don't even want to look at me. But still, let me thank you again for defending me to the end. Even after you learned that I'm a member of the F2P.
I just didn't want to see anyone falsely accused. I just wanted to be sure that we're square. I didn't want to see anyone falsely accused. Again, they do seem nice enough. And we're getting along decently with Child, despite, you know, being on opposing sides. Again, we're frenemies. So why do we turn away from them after they've literally done nothing wrong to us? Unlike Child. You know.
I guess. But regardless, I'd like the opportunity to set things straight. I didn't approach you with any ulterior motives or ill intent. I've spoken to you as myself, just plain Linny this entire time. As for why I'm a Fatus, it's because the goals of the House of the Hearth align with those of an orphan like me. That's all. That was how Father, who you might know as the Knave, approached recruiting us back then too.
Ha!
The one who controls the House of the Hearth? She's your father?
Well, that's interesting.
That's right.
Then.
And since we're here, I was wondering, would you mind hearing a story? It's about my past. Back when our parents first died, Lynette and I were left wandering the streets. To survive,
She is your father. Wait, what?
Observing an older street performer who did magic.
It's a title.
It took me several days to figure out how he pulled off his amazing tricks. I took my sister through several streets until we found a crowded corner, and we began to perform magic tricks there. To my surprise, we proved to be pretty popular, and we could at least stop worrying about where our next meal would come from for a time. But I didn't want my sister to remain a street rat together with me forever.
And that's why you
Before
sought
long,
out
an aristocrat
the
came to me
F2.
and claimed that he wished to take us in after watching my performances.
So you went from orphans to nobility just like that?
That was how we felt at first too. As if fate was on our side and we could say goodbye to those painful days. But I gradually discovered that while we were called foster children, he was really after my talent for magic tricks.
I mean, yeah, the F2 only want, you know, talent, power, whatever.
Which he would then use to expand his social circles.
That doesn't seem too bad either. Better than roaming the streets at any rate.
So?
It took a while for me
Noble?
to realize just how
No, we know
dark
it's
his heart
F2.
really was.
We know
After
he's
one
with the F2.
particular
We know they're with
performance
the
at a
F2 at
banquet,
this point.
I discovered that Lynette was
There,
not in the
there
same
are noble
return
people
vehicle
in the
as me.
F2, you know?
I waited a long time after we returned home, but she did not come back. I went to that noble's bedroom and asked him about her whereabouts. The answer he gave me was, she caught the eye of the most eminent person at the banquet, so I sent her over as a gift. I mean, you'll be able to perform your magic regardless of who your assistant is, yes?
Oh.
Oh no. So he was gonna...
And then they got to the F2.
Wouldn't Fontaine's laws deal with such people?
Spinne!
As far as outsiders are concerned, this is a relationship akin to adoption or foster care, and they have their ways of escaping the eye of the law.
Spinne, once again. F2 and noble families don't contradict each other. I don't know what you're talking about. So what happened after that?
I managed to ferret out the location of the mansion of that so-called eminent person and hurried through the night. But by the time I leaped over the walls,
So forgive me
the guards and made my way in,
if I'm making assumptions.
all I saw was the moonlit ground covered in blood, and the knave standing there in the darkness.
So, she'd already taken care of that guy.
That's right. She had rescued my sister before she could come to any harm, and had even discovered several girls hidden in a basement, all of them orphans.
But again, this proves that you were right, that the noble family and the F2 were not the
Might have
same.
seen something in me, and so she made me an offer.
Yeah, again though, Spinne, again, this proves, yeah, they were two different people, but that wasn't clear from the beginning. Because saying that nobility can't work for the F2 is just stupid. That's the same thing as saying, oh, I don't know. You can't, like a group of villagers can't be working for the Abyss Order, even though they are part of it. See what I mean? You know, since the beginning. He said noble. Again, further, you know what a noble is, right? A noble, part of a noble family. Nobility. How does that contradict anything? Do you not know what nobility is? Do you not know what nobles are? Do you not know that literally just refers to essentially rich people with a big name? Check your vocabulary. Nobility does not equal... Yeah, it does not equal F2, but they can still be part of the F2. Much like how Hilichurl doesn't equal Abyss Order, but despite that they're still working with the Abyss Order. You can see Abyss Mages and Hilichurls. Hilichurl does not equal Abyss Mage, for example. What am I doing? I'm talking to a wall here, apparently.
The House of the Hearth welcomes you, for your interests align with ours. Here, none will ever betray you. Indeed, betrayal shall never be permitted here. I was hesitant to trust her. I mean, I had just been betrayed by nobles.
Alright, fair. Let me make a better example for you. One more example. It's... What you're saying is, because if you're more of a noble or more of a common folk person, and being part of the Fatui or outside of the Fatui, is like... Alright, here's a comparison. Male and female, kid and adult. An adult can be male, much like a noble can be part of the Fatui. Doesn't mean they are necessarily part of the Fatui, much like how a male person doesn't need to necessarily be an adult, they can also be a kid. See what? That's the kind of thing. Two very different things that can overlap. Anyway, that's enough of me ranting.
But she was also quick to destroy the noble who had taken us in at first, giving us back our freedom.
Oh, so that's how the two of you joined the House of the Hearth.
Yeah, maybe they instantly knew that because they assumed as much. While I like theorizing, I'm not just gonna immediately assume something is the truth just because I see it. Just because I see something pointing in that direction. Again, I am the person who plays detective games. If I see two different words that don't contradict each other, then I'm not immediately gonna assume that they are referring to two very different things. I'm gonna acknowledge the possibility of that being the same. It's all in the past, though.
She has her own plans.
See how often I keep saying I'm gonna stop
She has gained
rambling?
permission from the Sarita to first use the Gnosis' power once she obtains it. She plans to use it to find a way to break the prophecy and save Fontaine.
So, she believes in that prophecy too?
That's right. The whole House of the Hearth is currently working to combat that crisis. Today's case has also proven that people from Fontaine can indeed dissolve into some sort of water, thus further supporting the prophecy. All of us house members here, Lady Arlecchino herself included, are from Fontaine. We won't give up on defending our homeland. To us orphans, the only connection we have left to this world, apart from our family, is our homeland.
So,
I mean, that's fair.
From small deeds like distributing magic pockets to huge schemes like stealing a Gnosis, everything is aimed at dealing with that prophecy.
Sorry, but I still can't completely trust you.
It's alright, I understand. The only thing I can do is relate all this to you. I just hope you can understand that even as a member of the House, I have never stopped making my own decisions, and that I believe what I'm doing is right. If you should need anything at all in the future, feel free to find me. I will do my best to help you, as plain Linny.
I understand.
Bye, Linny.
Wow, main character seems a lot more upset than Paimon is at this. Twist of great magic, let's leave the opera house, I guess. Except they're not really letting us leave.
Hey there. What was with the disappearing act you pulled right as the trial ended?
Oh, we had some people to talk to.
Well, this whole thing isn't exactly over, is it? I do feel that we're getting closer to solving the serial disappearances case, though. Don't you think so, too?
Case
What's
closed.
wrong, my dear partner?
I was really only trying to defend Linny.
Besides, are you sure we're the ones who can crack a case that's been cold for decades now? And given that there's new evidence from the trial, there should be a trail of breadcrumbs for the Hydro Archon's people to follow now, right?
Is this entire chapter gonna be about investigation stuff?
I see.
Oh boy.
I won't lie. I'm a little shocked to hear that from you. But I suppose you are just travelers who have only arrived in Fontaine after all.
True,
I'm sorry.
true.
I might have been too presumptuous.
Don't say that, Navia.
Awkward pause.
And we were having so much fun investigating with you, too.
Well, I'm sure we'll be forced to
It's like
investigate
having
again
new
together in the
water flowing
future.
into a stagnant mire, causing new hope to spring forth, and the reflection in the murk to become clearer. Well, sorry about that. I'm a bit prone to nostalgia. Don't mind me.
So where to now?
Shall we have a farewell meal? You know, to commemorate our time as partners?
Huh?
I mean, Paimon would probably be very happy about that one.
Well, guess you really did treat us as partners, huh?
Well, I'd just like to have a proper ending to every important memory. That way there are no regrets later.
And during that meal, she's gonna
Anyway,
rope us
it
into
would
working
just be a
together
meal,
with her
so it
again,
shouldn't
right?
take up too much of your time.
Well, if you say so.
You don't have to twist Paimon's arm. If Boss Navia's treating, count Paimon in.
Yeah, and during that meal, she's somehow gonna convince us
In that case,
in some
why
way.
don't we return to the court of Fontaine and head to the Hotel de Boer? I believe we'll make it just in time for dinner.
All right then, let's have our farewell meal.
It's not gonna be so much of farewell, is it? Quest completed. Oh, offerings to the fountain. Ah, okay, that's why I dropped my sigils off this time. I see, I see. Go to the workshop, okay. Let's go. I'm just gonna take the fast route. Teleport, you know, as you do. Let's do this. Next act begins today. Halfway through the stream, so you know what? I feel like we should be able to finish this tomorrow then. By the looks of it. Seems pretty good if we make decent progress here today. Also, I'm definitely gonna grab that teleport point. Alright, there's the hotel. Let's have that meal! Let's go!
I came here several times with my father when I was little, but stopped eating here as often after growing up. I hope the food here will be to your taste.
Well, if you can recommend it, then surely.
Not a hotel like this in a while. Paimon's getting excited already.
In that case, I'll go order for us first. Please wait here a moment.
You're gonna order for us? But how do you know what we want? You have no idea what we want.
Everything looks so good. People in Fontaine sure know how to enjoy life.
Why, of course. Go ahead, try whatever you like. If the food's good, I'll make a group reservation for the rest of Spina di Rosula next time.
Oh, all of us? Then we'll go somewhere else next time.
Then I'll still bring everyone. Albeit with only one dish per table.
You, sure have your own
Again,
way
if
of
it's
doing
not good,
things.
why not go to a different place?
We called this a farewell meal, but we could also treat it like a victory feast, right? We did just win that case after all.
It's certainly worth celebrating.
Oh, true. Very true. In that case, boss, we'll have another 2 dishes.
Whoa, whoa.
Paimon didn't mean that you had to order even more food.
We still have food on the table. Let us eat that first.
Speaking of cases, do you think that the mastermind behind the serial disappearances will get caught soon now that this has all happened?
Well, we've certainly taken a big step forward, but I feel that's
Yeah,
about
now we
it.
know that we can't
We
really
know that
rely on
there's an
any of his
organization that means
goons to
dissolve
come
these young
forward.
women, but we still don't know what they are really after.
If it hadn't happened right in front of us, Paimon wouldn't have ever believed that a person could be dissolved like that.
Right? Yet it was because this was such a preposterous notion that the investigation could never really move forward before.
Well, but now that is a good info to have. So the reason none of them were ever found is just because, you know, dissolved. They no longer exist. They are gone. Not just murdered, there's not even a corpse to
In such
be found.
investigations, even the smallest step can seem like a yawning chasm if the trail of clues is cut off. To be honest, I don't have high hopes for any follow-up that the authorities might conduct. It's not that I don't have faith in their ability, it's just that a different perspective is required in some matters. It's easy to guard against and deceive a single narrow perspective. A shift in thinking is required at such times in order to produce a breakthrough. Which is exactly why the Spina di Rosula exists.
Is that
Those
so? Okay.
highfalutin folk are not all-knowing. That's why we exist. To seep into the cracks where filth falls through. Where their watch fails them. That's the kind of problems we solve.
Seems Paimon thought things were simpler than they actually are.
Is anything ever simple
It's
in
all
this
right.
world? Oh, the pain of
This was
existing.
supposed to be a farewell meal, so I doubt you have further interest in this business, right?
I mean, I do detective stuff in another game already.
What are your future plans?
So what's one more detective game? We wanted to ask the Hydra Archon for some information.
That's true. We didn't have a chance to speak to her after the trial ended. It didn't really seem like the right time or place to do it anyway.
I see. So, your primary objective, which has been foiled so far, was to have a chat with the Hydro Archon.
Even though we ran into her
I've heard
multiple
that there's
times
a long
now.
line of people waiting to meet Lady Farina. I suspect you'll be waiting for quite a while, considering that you missed your chance today.
Yeah.
We'll get
She's
another
super
opportunity.
popular here in Fontaine, and that it'll be tough getting any of her time.
Well, would you consider some more, unique ways? Perhaps even methods of, let's say, questionable legality?
What might you
Spina
consider?
di Rosula's boss for you. Chock full of sketchy ideas.
Commit a crime. Go to court. You can talk to her again in that case.
One way would be to infiltrate
Again,
the performance
I
chain
had
of
this
the
idea
Opera House,
before.
only to abandon your act at the play's climax and ask to speak to her after the performance. I'm sure Lady Farina would be eager to see the ending, and would agree in order to finish watching the play. Don't you think?
Could you suggest something a little more practical? This plan seems pretty hard to pull off. We'd have to go learn how to act, and acting's really hard.
Well, apparently we acted in the movie
All
already,
right,
thanks
here's
to
another.
Xavier.
Find a way to conceal yourselves under
Right.
her bed. Then wake her up in the dead of night and demand answers. Don't let her go back to sleep until she answers all your questions. I can personally testify that this one works. When I'm sleepy, I'll do anything as long as I can finally get some sleep.
That might work.
Yeah, the
but
problem is
that's
getting
not
to her.
Really the problem. The problem is we don't want to get ourselves
Again, though, if we get arrested, the
Ah,
trial, you
Valid
know.
point. I overlooked that part. I was just thinking about leveraging a person's desire for sleep.
Anything? What do you mean? How can you overlook something like that?
All right, no more joking around. Perhaps you could... Oh, I don't know. Cut the line when she's on a break. You did defeat her in court, clearing citizens of hers from false accusations. False accusations she had nearly upheld personally. I imagine that she feels quite ashamed about the whole thing.
Ah, so that's an excuse we can
that if
use
we
to talk
catch
to
her
her.
while she's on a break, she might be too embarrassed to refuse? Oh, that does make some sense.
It's worth a try.
Why don't we give it a try after this meal? You know, strike while the iron is hot and all.
Good point, good point.
Paimon, did you drink my Fanta?
Was this your drink?
Fonta, get it because Fontaine, but Fanta. Ha, ha,
Sorry
ha,
about that.
ha.
Paimon wasn't really paying attention.
The
and
jokes
cup
are
was right
real.
next to Paimon. Would you like to order another?
No, it's fine. We're just about done here.
Alright. Honestly, Paimon wouldn't recommend Fonta anyway. It tastes kind of salty and icky.
I have to agree.
Is that so? Huh. Well, in that case, we'll have to blacklist the Fanta here then. If we're all finished eating, then I'll go pay.
Alright,
Yeah, we're stuck.
let's get out of here.
Thanks for the treat,
And meet the Archon once again. Oh, we're just getting teleported out? Okay, we're just...
Paimon can barely float anymore.
You could try walking, you know?
Nah, that would be so... normal. You know, like you.
So you admit you're an abnormality
For
then?
expenses this month,
Fair.
we're left with...
Hey, Navia, what are you doing over there?
You're not treating us to a meal if you have money problems, are you?
It was just a meal, you know? Nothing the Spina di Rosula can't cover.
It was a pretty pricey meal, all thanks to Paimon.
Let's get ready to try to meet the Hydro Archon again. Bye, Navia!
So this is goodbye, huh? Well, if you do encounter any other trouble in Fontaine, you're always welcome to contact the Spina di Rosula. I'll give your requests the highest priority.
Why, thank you. Now let's keep going. Come on, Archon time.
In any case, I wish you smooth sailing. I'll see you again, partner.
See ya!
Now, where would our Archon be as light rain falls without reason? Oh, that's quite far. Oh, right, we're going back. Back to the courtroom. But not quite inside. We're just gonna meet up by the fountain, I guess. Let's see.
There aren't many people around anymore. Looks like that boat we took to Araneus might have been the last one.
Vache.
This again.
Looks like we're back here again.
Yeah, and I'm hearing the voice again.
Traveler? Are you hearing voices again?
And it's clearer than it was during the day.
That's kind of spooky. Are you sure we don't want to come back in the morning?
Ah, we're here already.
Vache.
Hey,
We're already here.
why are you still walking towards it? There might be something nasty in the water.
Can feel strong emotions.
Huh? Hang on. Paimon can kind
Oh!
of hear a voice
Paimon can hear it now too.
calling for Vache, right?
Paimon hears it too.
Traveler? Stop walking! Come
Oh.
on, wake up!
And then we died. Oh god, it's an Oceanid again. Well, we know that Oceanids can be good. We've killed a certain Oceanid over and over again, but there was a certain other Oceanid we met a while ago that was actually nice. Where's this?
Vache. Are you my dear Vache? No,
Who is you?
wait. You seem to be someone else. Do you know Vache? Do you know where my love is?
I'm sorry, who are you?
I'm... Wait. Who am I? I'm very sorry. I fear I do not know.
Oceanid.
My memories feel like they have been washed away like a flood. So many fragments dissolved amidst the tide.
I did say Oceanid,
Never
right?
be recovered.
Like ocean? Oceanid?
How much have
Do you
I
say it
lost?
Oceanid?
How many things that
Instead
I
of
once
pronouncing the
held dear
E
while
and
on
A?
land?
I mean, Oceanid
I
would sound
since
more like
forgotten?
ocean. I don't know, I've gotten so used to saying it the other way. Also, the way you spelled it doesn't sound anything like I pronounced it anyway. You spelled it Oceanide? Oceanide? Ugh. What even is that spelling? You were once human?
Yes, that is what I was once. But now, I am but the consciousness of one who has lost their form.
You lost your form, so you're one of the people who got turned to liquid, right?
I do not know how I came to be like this either. I only vaguely remember being covered in light blue water, and then all grew dim.
Could she be one of the girls who were dissolved?
I also remember going to many places. I loved adventure, loved exploring places of peril. No matter where I went, Vache would go with me.
I knew how dearly he loved me. And I also loved him equally as much. But now, we can no longer go back.
Do we have to find
The
this
pain of
Vache?
such parting. I never
Perhaps.
knew how heavy it could be.
We just need to find someone going by that name who knew one of the people who were dissolved. So you need me to find him. Yeah, there we go.
No.
Oh.
Our reunion no longer has any meaning.
Okay.
There's no way for us to create
I guess.
any new memories.
If you don't want to, then I'll just leave.
No succor. So let it lie forgotten beneath the waters. If you meet Vache, tell him not to look for me. Tell him to move on. That is the only thing I still remember.
I believe it will be hard for him to forget you.
Perhaps that is so. As I was submerged in the waters, losing consciousness, I saw Vache above the surface. His eyes were filled with such sorrow, such longing. If only I could have comforted him. Told him that I did not.
So he was a witness.
Indeed. I had felt a great.
That means Vache was a witness to the fact that you dissolved? And if he hadn't come forward about that, does that mean he's involved with the people who do this?
Is that what you call it? Dissolving? If anything,
If he was a witness and he hasn't come forward with that fact, that must mean he's also involved in the case of the disappearances, probably. Oh, that feels even more horrible then.
like the water still surface.
Then again, he might also have not come forward just because he felt like this was too outlandish of a thing to say and nobody would believe him.
First time, and only then sees how they have lived for so long in a world of endless want and anxiety.
After the body is dissolved, some measure of the consciousness still
I
remains.
think I hear your companion. It's time for you to go, I think.
Is that Paimon? Ah, right, I wonder how much time has passed in reality.
Farewell then. I am glad that you were able to sense my presence. Remember, if you see Vache, tell him not to seek me out any longer.
And we is out. Okay, what is happening? What did we just sleep through? What did we just sleep through? Excuse me? What am I just waking up to? I missed something important. Alright, we can handle this. We have multiple elements.
Dear God, it's a whole army of Gardamex.
But why are they attacking us? Are they malfunctioning or something? Is someone hacking them? Wait, that's that one dude. But why? Oh! Okay, backup is here. So they are either malfunctioning or someone hacked them. This is normal, happens all the time. Very fair, I guess. Malfunctioning or hacked. Either way, they are not behaving as they should.
Quick, now's our chance!
Just casually walking up to them. You know, as you do. Okay, Bobby. Yes, yes, Spinner. That is a fair reaction. Again, these cutscenes never fail to impress. Great power of gun, yes. So, care to tell me what the fuck just happened?
I should thank you for lending us your sword there, Clorand. But before I do so, could you explain how you managed to show up here?
My characters I am most hyped.
It seemed to me that danger has followed you more
They
closely.
do seem to be pretty nice.
I believe that following someone without their knowledge is actually called stalking, is it not?
Mr. Callus's last wish was for me to ensure your safety, and I will not betray his trust. He would do the same. were he alive today.
Do not speak of
Huh.
my father.
Sorry, demoiselle. I was not strong enough.
Thank you for your aid, Miss Corand, but do keep an eye out for your manner of speech.
Yeah,
I
okay.
believe we all wish to avoid unnecessary emotional
But,
harm.
can anyone fill me in on what the hell just happened? Why did they attack us?
Whatever.
I would I would like to
How did
know.
you come to the conclusion that I'd be in grave danger?
I doubt I know much more than you, but I believe that the mastermind behind the serial disappearances is very powerful. Your performance tonight will almost certainly attract their attention.
Yeah, I feel like it already has,
they've
if
known
that
about
attack
me.
was anything to go
To
by.
be honest, I'm shocked it's taken them this long to act against me. And what about these Gardamex? I thought only those associated with the Maison Gardiennage could control them.
None of these mecha have serial numbers. I was sure to check a moment ago. They are not the ones used by the authorities to enforce the law. I can only
Okay,
conclude
so
that
they're
some
not
powerful
official.
or wealthy party must have obtained them via illegal means, deploying them as a private force of sorts.
What? Your point
Okay
being
then,
that
so
they're
it
out
wasn't
of
a
Spina
hacking
di
attack or
Rosula's league, then?
anything.
Yes. Be careful, and do not act rashly.
I will continue investigating no matter what. We will bring the truth to light. That's my father's true last wish. Regardless,
Okay then.
thank you for
And
your
do I
help
have
today,
to help now
Corinne.
anyway? Do we have a headache right
But
now?
if you get any ideas, tell me first.
Like, we
I
did
don't much
nothing during
appreciate
that
being
fight.
I do not think that
We
those
have
threats
access
again
to
anytime
multiple
soon.
elements, and we did nothing
So I
during
shall
that
stop
fight.
following you. Good day, all.
Damn.
Right. I suppose that's the best news we've got.
I mean, I guess
today.
we just wanted to give them a chance to show off,
I
you know?
believe that Miss Corand was being sincere with you. If we tried, we could attempt to thaw relations a little.
I know, she's...
So, what just happened?
Thank goodness! Paimon thought we were done for! Those Gardamex came out of nowhere while you were unconscious, and Nadia and her gang saved us!
Yeah, I figured that much.
Oh, and there was that champion duelist named Chlorine who came
Yeah,
out
I
to save
saw.
us too! We got lucky there. Paimon probably couldn't have fought them off otherwise.
Yeah, because you totally... probably couldn't have. What, you're saying you would have stood a chance? At least a tiny chance? Is that what you're saying, little Paimon? Oh, how sad. Couldn't even beat a basic slime. So you're a fighter now, Paimon.
Oh, come now. Forget all that polite talk. That wasn't really a farewell meal we had back there. Not for me, anyway. In truth, I hope that every meal we have together shall be a victory feast. As such, we're still partners. There's no need to thank me.
It will take 50 years for me to match Demoiselle's magnanimity.
If it were me,
Damn.
I would have joined the Spina di Rosula on account of her goodwill long ago.
All right, you two. That's enough.
So, back to the plan. We were here to meet the Hydra Archon.
Well, to be honest, you're the one who tipped us off, Paimon.
Huh? Really? Paimon contributed somehow? Ooh, Paimon's even more amazing than she thought!
Oh no,
Yes,
don't let it
all
get to
thanks
her
you
head.
grabbing my drink by mistake.
How did that help?
After we parted ways, I was on the way back to one of our bases when I suddenly thought of what you said. That the Fonta tasted kind of salty and icky.
They were trying to assassinate her, weren't they? Oh, they were trying to assassinate her! It was water from the Primordial Sea, wasn't it? Wait, do you mean that... Tasted strange as well, but I couldn't be sure.
Fonta only comes in sweet flavors. So how could it have tasted salty? The color of the drink, if I recall, had also been a bit off.
Well, lucky that you didn't drink it then.
Spiked with water from the Primordial Sea?
She almost would have died.
Yes. So if you hadn't drunk that cup for me...
Spina di Rosula is preparing the grandest of
Paimon
awards
said,
for you
yeah.
as we speak for
Wow.
saving the boss.
Paimon's stupidity actually came in clutch. Fortunately, Paimon, neither of us are from Fontaine, because we would be
to
dead.
Hotel de Boer to investigate, but whoever did this left no trace at all. That's when I figured out that you might be in danger and hurried here as quickly as I could.
But why would they go after us too? All we did was defend Linny in court and help clear his name.
Yeah. Because we cleared his name, we interfered with their plans, so we are a thorn in their side. Of course they want to get rid of us now.
They were probably pretty proud of.
Yeah.
And almost got their name in the process. Speaking of which, did anything strange happen when you drank the primordial seawater?
Well, it can't be a coincidence that the traveler fainted just now.
I mean, I appreciate that Paimon's stupidity came in clutch. Let's see if that happens again.
Oh, and this time Paimon heard it too. But it was real faint. Does this situation have to do with the primordial seawater then?
According to Lynette, the ability to hear voices like that has to do with one's sensitivity to the hydro element.
Does that mean the primordial seawater raises someone's sensitivity to hydro when it's used on people who are not from Fontaine?
That doesn't sound like too much of a bad thing, to be honest.
I also gained some new intel. Apparently at least a part of the people's consciousness stays when they get dissolved.
New intel? While you were out cold?
Yeah, I talked to someone.
Well, let's hear it, shall we?
The voice in the fountain belonged to one of the missing women. A person named Vacher was a witness when she dissolved.
Oh, that is important.
Tell everyone about what happened while you are connected to the oceanid's
Vacher.
consciousness.
That name doesn't ring a bell. I suppose he hasn't stepped forward as a witness in court lately. Since
Yeah,
he saw that
which
young
makes
woman
him
dissolve,
sus,
He was
kinda.
at least at the crime scene. But he never gave testimony or any information regarding people dissolving in the primordial seawater. Could he have been threatened?
We should try searching for him.
Yes, thank you. This is very important information indeed. We will continue to investigate.
Alright, partner.
Oh, you mean you'll help us investigate?
I guess at this point we don't really have a choice.
Didn't really count. That means we're still partners,
And
right?
again, these people are after us now too.
Now whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
You're not gonna let those people who targeted us get off the hook so easily, are you, Traveler?
True. I do have a habit of reflexively saying, let's kill them. Why would it be any different this time? Except this time we have to find them first for me to say, let's kill them. Messing with us will cost them.
Demoiselle, do try not to look quite so pleased. You are the face of Spina di Rosula, after all.
Alright, let's get to it.
Talk too much. Well, in that case, let's head back to one of our bases, shall we? I'll arrange accommodations for you. We also have some plans to go over, and hopefully we can deepen our bonds as partners. But we'll take that one step at a time, I guess.
Don't worry, you two. With us around, our base is definitely secure.
Are you sure about that? What if one of them is a traitor? Again, we gotta be sus of everyone. Damn, but we came all the way over here to meet the Hydra. Are you kidding me with this back and forth? So, we were here, went all the way over to have a meal, then went all the way back in hopes of meeting the Hydra Archon, got stopped at the fountain, now we're once again going all the way back. What is this constant back and forth? Just stay in one place for a while. Okay then. Ah, man, why does this place look so nice? Alright. There we go.
It's right up ahead, but let's make sure we weren't followed first.
I've been keeping watch, Demoiselle. I haven't spotted anyone suspicious thus far.
Huh, very good. But let's not let our guard down for
Yeah,
now.
we don't exactly have a Shinigami who can look at people without being seen herself.
Thank you, Malus. Now, let's continue, Traveler.
Alright. Going underground, huh? Oh, we're going to the sewers. Oh, I see. Okay, then. So her base is down in the sewers. Fantastic. Oh god, it's just like the World Detective Organization. In Kanai Ward, we also have to travel through the underground to get to the riverside where our base is. It is basically exactly the same. A detective organization that you reach through the sewers. Damn. And I thought I only played I thought I only played Master Detective Archives on Saturday. Guess I was wrong. Guess I am now playing it during the week too. In a way. There's a teleport point right above me. That is a little bit frustrating. But there is also one over here apparently. And a viewpoint too. There we go. You know, for being a place in the sewers, it definitely could look worse. Also, they really build houses down here. Like, those are proper houses with windows and everything. Built in the sewers. Okay, then.
So, this is your base? It's not quite what Paimon imagined.
Your
It'll do.
accommodations have been arranged. Under the present circumstances, I can confidently say it's the best we have.
Thank you so much for my expectations, Nah, just say thanks.
Well, our funds have been a little tight lately.
Yeah, I had a feeling after you said that
Illegal
earlier.
or unethical profiteering. In fact, our funds often come from citizenry who support us.
Seems like it's tough times for everyone. But if you have the support of the people, that does sound like it's worth it.
To be honest, our financial situation was a lot better back when my father was in charge a few years ago. I'm afraid I'm not quite his equal.
And by the time we're done with the story arc, she's gonna be... Like, by the time we leave Fontaine, I mean, she's gonna have surpassed her father, probably. We're gonna witness her growth while during our stay here, probably, if I had to guess.
I'll explain it myself. I suppose I couldn't run from this topic forever. And as partners, this is something I hope they can understand. My father's name is Callus. Yes, the same one they call Callus the Unfaithful in the streets. 3 years ago, he was accused of murdering his own friend. But he chose a duel to defend his honor instead of standing trial. He died in the duelist's ring.
And the duelist he fought against is the one who promised to look after you, right?
My father was a murderer. I'm sure he was set up. At the time, I believed that if he only stood trial and was duly investigated, something amiss would crop up and prove his innocence. But strangely, he not only requested the duel himself, but rumor has it that even after being seriously injured, to the point where he could be deemed as having lost the duel, he refused to surrender, determined to die in the arena. 3 years later, I still don't understand why he did that.
Another mystery to investigate for Master Detective Code.
If he's dead. If anything, he gave up his chance to defend himself.
Does seem quite odd. Do you have any clues as to why?
The closest piece of info I have is that my father had been investigating the serial disappearances case at the time of his death.
Ah, so that's why you're so determined to get to the bottom of that case.
Fair, fair, very understandable.
That's right. I've also tried to investigate the murder my father was implicated in, but I haven't found a single new clue in my countless reviews of the investigation records.
We're gonna glance over it and we're gonna solve it. Let's go.
I believe that if the murder case is related to those behind the disappearances, they must know something. I must know what really happened. Was my father coerced? Framed? Even if he really did kill his friend, I must get to the truth. If only he'd been more open with me when he was still alive. He even hid the fact that my mother died due to complications when giving birth to me. And now, here I am investigating his death. You really are a handful, aren't you, Papa?
Seeking the truth for the sake of your family. Damn it, now we have to help. We have no choice. For Lamine! You know, you're quite alike in that regard.
Mademoiselle, please. If there is anything I can do, anything at all.
I also will never believe that Master Callus murdered anyone. There are none whom I respect more than the two of you, Demoiselle. Master Callus did so much good in life, yet all it took was one murder case for him to be dubbed Callus the Unfaithful.
That does, yeah, people attach themselves to the negative stuff. People see something negative and that's what they get hung up on. It just sticks in your mind more easily for some reason.
Man, wouldn't people at least be a little suspicious when he was accused?
No. Perhaps people just revel in that kind of drama. It's not something exclusive to people from Fontaine, really. Everyone's like that. People love watching the evil turn over a new leaf, but they also enjoy watching good people fall into an abyss from one slip-up just as much.
Huh.
But how could... never mind. If Callus was really falsely accused, we have to find the truth. He didn't deserve to have that happen to him.
Alright then, let's look into the case, I guess.
Master Callus's opponent in the duel was Ms. Clorand.
Again, and that's when she made the promise, right?
Isn't that as good as saying that she was the one who killed him?
No wonder the mood was a little strange between the two of you.
Yeah, that's not the sort of thing that you can just let go and move on from.
Ms. Clorand
She was just doing her job, you know.
On the honorable nature of the duel. If her opponent doesn't yield, she will not stop either. She knew Master Callus beforehand and greatly respected him, but seeing how he was resolute in the arena, there was only ever one choice she could have made.
Again, she was just doing her job.
It's not that I don't understand her at all, but I just can't deal with this yet.
Don't worry, Navia.
At least she's not blaming her.
Everyone knows how you feel. You don't have to force yourself to do that.
Afterward, Ms. Clorand told us that at the start of the duel, Master Callus requested that she ensure Demoiselle Navia's safety.
Then that indicates that he intended to die in that duel.
Yes, that is our understanding as well.
Oh, Papa. What madness drove you to ask the person who killed you to take care of me?
Well, who else could he ask?
That's the information
I don't think there were
wanted to share
many
with you.
other people he could ask.
Even if it did sound like I was just complaining towards the end.
No, it's alright. I understand how important this is to you.
Thanks. You two should go and rest. This was quite a day after all.
Alright, where to?
Relax and get some
This
sleep.
room, right?
We will ensure you rest soundly.
This very building we're in front of is where we stay to rest. Rest. Do we get to see the interior? Or nah? Peaceful night passes under the Spina Dalia's protection.
Paimon slept so well. This place feels almost too safe. Huh? Navia? Where did the other two go?
I sent them back to Poisson.
Oh,
It's Spina de Rosula's place of origin, and where we have our headquarters. There's not much for them to do here at the moment.
So why aren't we at your
I get the feeling
headquarters?
that you're just trying to get them off your back. But never mind that. When did you get back? Were you waiting here the whole time?
Imagine she just
No,
slept
I
outside.
just returned after going out for a while.
Ah,
I did some investigating yesterday regarding the name Vache.
Wait,
nice. She
you didn't sleep at
she already got some work done.
How could I after having such critical new evidence appear?
Guess Paimon wasn't speaking for everyone just now, huh?
Unfortunately, this name seems to have been wiped from existence. It doesn't seem to have a match anywhere.
Which
suspect
further proves
that
my
those behind
suspicion.
this have already taken steps to hinder an investigation
I
from this
think
angle.
said person might actually work for those people.
Prove that this Vache person is a key witness in the incident.
Again, he might also work for those people.
Too late though?
No. There is one ray of hope. One place in Fontaine that they would find almost impossible to threaten, no matter how much they wanted to.
Which would be?
And that is the archives kept by Chief Justice Neuvillette. A place where detailed files on all the cases in recent years are kept.
Okay, so we have to go to the
Oceanid
archive.
Is one of the young women who went missing
Oceanid?
recently. We should be able to find some related information.
Did you hear that?
So Neuvillette maintains an archive of cases.
So don't blame me. Oceanid, Oceanid.
Justice for you.
I feel like the way I said it should be just as valid as what she just said.
Aren't you coming along, Navia? Did you get
There you go.
No, it's nothing. Let's go see the Honorable Chief Justice.
A lot of people saying it wrong. But I mean, if they even say it wrong in the game, then you can't blame me. The way I say it, I probably picked up that pronunciation from another character I met at one point. And I was just like, that's how I heard it in the game, and I just stuck with it at that point.
The palais is right up ahead. Come on.
Again, they are cute. Alrighty then. Oh. Pointing!
Halt! Please state your business here. The Chief Justice is presently occupied with official matters.
We're friends with the Chief Justice.
This place does look pretty heavily guarded. Guess that proves that Neuvillette's files are really secure.
Hey, don't you recognize us?
Yeah, we are attorneys.
Huh? Who are you? Just to be clear, I don't care who you are or who you might be related to. Our rules make no exceptions.
Just call for him, he'll recognize us.
Yep. Paimon can tell. If you're here just to crack jokes, I can point you towards the exit.
No
Unlike
need.
some,
We'll just wait
we're
here for a
busy,
second, I
so
guess.
Please leave if you don't have a reason
Oh,
to
we do
be
have a
here.
reason. We do have a reason.
No. What I meant to say is, shouldn't you remember us from a few days ago? We were at the trial of the great magician Linny.
Oh, yes, I remember. I read about it in the Steambird. You must be Linny's
Indeed.
attorneys. It's all coming back to me now.
The yes, Master Detective Code, who miraculously solved the case.
Huh. Is that even a thing?
Of course. Don't worry. We're here on official business. You can trust us.
Official business to talk to the Chief
Then
Justice.
I'll let you through. The Chief Justice is just inside.
Alright.
Thanks so much.
We're here for an investigation.
Please come in.
Nice office. Very spacious. Hi there, remember us?
Sorry to barge in, Monsieur Neuvillette. We only lied to get in because we didn't know any other way.
It's all right. Please let me know how I may be of assistance to you.
So you're not mad at us?
We're looking for a man called Vache. He may have been an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case. If we can find him, we may be able to unearth some key information on the case.
Ah, I see. In that case, please wait here a moment while I browse through the files.
Apparently he has been disappeared, by the looks of it. Or he was always working for those idiots. Who knows?
Who knew that Neuvillette would be so easy to talk to?
I mean, again, he does seem pretty chill. but serious when he needs to be.
Unfortunately,
no luck.
I'm quite certain that no one by the name of Vache has been involved in any case, criminal or civil, in the past several years. There are no
Had a
records
feeling.
of him either in the files or in my memory.
Guess that's that. So we're back to square one.
Traveler, what if it was really just a dream?
Doubt that. You heard the voice too, after all.
So? All right then. Thank you so much, Monsieur Neuvillette. We'll take our leave now.
Unless you have anything else to tell us. Uncomfortable silence, by the way, while her animations continue.
Miss Navia, I can understand how you feel.
Oh.
Your father, Callus, was a truly exceptional man. We deeply regret his passing.
Well, anything you want to add?
Are you trying to say, Monsieur Neuvillette? Are you trying to console me? Extend your sympathy? Or just express some tendril of regret? No. You are not trying to do any of that. I can hear it in your voice. There's no emotion behind your words.
Damn, okay then.
You only said those things because you felt like you should.
Damn, okay, I'm calling him out.
It's just like last time. After my father took his place in the duelist ring, I pushed through the guards to talk to you as a last resort. You even told me then that you thought there was something fishy with the case, yet you still allowed the duel to go ahead. In your eyes, the value of a human life is nothing compared to those cold laws you hold so dear.
I mean, he is Chief Justice. He has to put the laws above everything. It's his job.
Call a stop to the duel? Why didn't you give me the power to stop him from throwing his life away? Why did you just let him die? Despised and hated
They
by
even
all.
animated the tears rolling down her cheeks. That is some
was
attention
hanging
to
on a
detail.
thread at
I'm
that
sorry.
moment.
I'm sorry.
Just the tiniest
Yeah,
effort
animated
to
tears,
change
exactly. I just said it.
There are still so many things I never got to tell him. So many questions.
That is
he still
amazing
owes me
attention to
answers
detail.
If you really have no heart, then just look me in the eyes. I, Navia, will show you the true meaning of regret.
Oh. I mean, he looked at her for a second.
You and my father are truly alike. You keep all kinds of things in your heart and never say a word to anyone.
Again, he has to be objective with everything, so he can't let emotions get into
so much that
anything
you
because he
can't
is
feel,
Chief
but
Justice.
that you would never express anything. Oh well. In any case, everyone already knows full well the apathy of the Chief Justice. My apologies for taking my emotions out on you, Monsieur Chief Justice. Let's go, Traveler and Paimon.
I guess we're leaving. So how do we continue from there? This was a bit awkward. Should we say something, or...
Navia, are you okay?
And it's raining again.
I'm fine. Rain. It's raining.
Yeah, I just said that.
You're right. Wasn't it still sunny when we went into the building? And there shouldn't be any active trials today. How strange.
Now that I think of it, on the day my father was convicted of murder, it was also raining.
Rain. So are we saying it's all connected to strong emotions, negative emotions? We were talking about the crying hydro dragon, right?
What is it? Did you think of something?
Your father's case, was he outside when it happened?
Yeah, he was outside. It was uncovered and the rain could fall there. Why? Do you think the rain could have affected the crime scene? That thought has occurred to us before. We've even expanded the search area to try to account for that, but didn't find anything of value.
But there was something you didn't know at the time.
Oh? Wait. You don't mean...
The fact that people can be turned into water. Did they find the body of the friend that he supposedly killed?
So you're saying that the true murderer could have been turned into water?
Or the true
And
murderer.
then got washed away with the rain? Yeah. And if that's what had happened, then no one would have believed your dad, even if he explained what he saw to the authorities.
That is a fair point.
I found a true genius for a partner. You're completely right. How did I not connect the dots earlier? All right, let's go to Poisson. With this new lead in mind, we'll get to the bottom of my father's case for sure.
Will we? I guess we'll try to at least get started. Let's do
Go
this.
with me now? Or do you want to head over by yourself later?
Oh, we can go now. I still have time in the stream. We should go while the idea is still fresh.
Great. Let's go then.
But what do we do with that information? Going alone takes so long. Well, good thing I can teleport. There's a viewpoint down there as well as a teleport point. Oh great, it's another underground base. Let me actually check, where am I? Oh, okay, that's over here. Ooh. Pretty. Ha, so that's the opening there, okay. Why did you want me to look at the map? Anything in particular you had in mind that I should see?
Whoa! What a huge ship! Why would a ship be anchored at a place like this?
There's no need to be so surprised. While it may look like a ship, it's actually Spina di Rosula's
So far
headquarters.
away, yeah it is. It is pretty far
My father was the one
away.
who asked for it to be built like this. Perhaps our taste in exterior design is the only thing we occasionally had in common. A gigantic and glamorous ship embodies discovery, opportunity, ambition, and conquest. It symbolizes Spina di Rosula's bright and limitless future.
I think I'm starting to get why you like it. Let's go. Go under the water. No.
Spina di Rosula had a glorious
In fact, the only thing I did between streams was do the commissions and use a bit of my resin.
history would live in the sewers.
I haven't really explored anything here yet.
Has seen this ship for herself? She's been convinced.
In fact, I might save the Fontaine exploration until after tomorrow's stream, so I'll have finished the Fontaine story that's currently available. We'll see. Man, look at this place. All right. A lot of metal was used here, definitely. Why use metal specifically for this? I mean, I know it's more durable than wood, but I don't know. Seems like a very moist environment. Metal, like a lot of metals rust. Judging by the color, I would assume that. Might be copper. Then again, copper would oxidize after a while. What do I know?
Maloose, we're back.
Actually, it might be copper because there were some green patches on it, right?
Apologies for the wait.
Although I think that was
and
just
our
moss or
most
something,
important
or whatever.
partners. You said before that you still had some business at the court. What brings you back to Poisson so quickly?
We have evidence!
About that.
Or I guess
It's
theories,
because my
we have
partner here
theories.
reminded me of something really important. You see, what if my father's case had something to do with water from the primordial sea? You still remember, right, Malus? On that night, it was raining?
Yes, the case was quite similar to that of Mr. Linney's. Both were what you'd call impossible murders.
Could the mastermind be the same person?
Could you tell us a bit more about what happened before?
Yeah, of course. Many years ago, something called synth began to gain popularity in Poisson. At a glance, it was a kind of drink that could excite your mood and produce
That's what
many
they said
pleasant hallucinations.
is like a less intense version of the primordial water, right?
Who turned into water also mentioned
Yeah.
that the primordial water could be used to produce some kind of potion?
That's exactly the one then.
He did. Considering what we know now, it's almost certain that synth is created using water from the primordial sea. If you drink synth for an extended amount of time, you'll suffer many side effects, such as losing the ability to focus or control your emotions. And if you
Losing
were to
the
stop
ability to
drinking it
control or
completely,
focus
you'll
emotions. Would
experience
that also...
flashes of paranoia and anxiety while lacking energy to do anything. It's an extremely dangerous substance.
Would losing the ability... Would another potential side effect, other than losing the ability to control emotions, also, for example, be losing the ability to control your vision? Just as a random example. Would that be another potential possible side effect? Because there is a certain someone who we met, who, after having no problems with it so far, suddenly lost control over his vision after spending some time here in this nation. Which is also the first time we have heard about water from the primordial sea and this potion that can be created using it. Just saying that there might be some connection there.
As he oversaw Poisson, my father was compelled to put a stop to synth abuse and called for a complete ban of it.
Boss's uncompromising attitude incurred the synth vendor's wrath, but no matter how much they threatened or bribed him, he refused to yield.
So they tried to get rid of
Not only
him.
that, Boss became determined to find the mastermind behind the synth operation and put an end to the problem once and for all.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
but the enemy was very cunning. So he could never get anything out of the dealers, all of whom only sold the stuff and weren't privy to the rest of the operation. Recognizing that, my father decided to contact the dealers in secret and cultivate personal relationships with them. Finally, he was able to convince someone to become his informant.
And that was his
The man's
friend,
name
right?
was Jacques. He felt greatly ashamed about his work after seeing many families destroyed
So
by
they
synth
became
abuse.
friends, and that is the person who died
That
and
night,
who he
my
was
father
framed
hosted a
for.
banquet at his countryside estate. He planned to meet up and exchange information with Jacques over some food.
Which is where he
But then-
supposedly died.
We heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. We raced to the scene and found my father, still holding a gun, and Jacques, who was already dead on the ground.
Huh? How did that happen? Aren't they on the same side?
So we can assume...
Sounds
Did he
just
only
like
have
Lenny's
one
case,
wound?
doesn't it? In both cases, the culprit seemed obvious, but neither appeared to have any motive at all.
Here's the thing. What I think happened. Alright. If we're saying that the primordial sea water was a factor. The 2 gunshots can be explained by someone pulling a gun on Jacques. Then her dad trying to shooting that dude who also had primordial water on him, so he dissolved. That would explain the 2 different gunshots. So he shot Jacques, and her dad tried to avenge him, but the person dissolved. So he was standing there alone with the victim. And if the victim only has 1 bullet wound, but you heard 2 gunshots, that further would be potential evidence to that theory. Just saying.
Looking back on it, though, I now believe the most important clue was something we all overlooked at the time. There were pieces of clothing left at the scene.
And that further proves it. Did perhaps the pieces of clothing also have a bullet hole in them? Again, if Jacques only had received 1 shot, and the pieces of clothing had a hole in them, then that is basically all the evidence we need. Right? So they could have belonged to someone who got dissolved.
Precisely. It's all things
Again,
seen
tell
that
me
I made
about the
connection.
gunshot wounds. I need the
We all
details.
just thought they were some
Tell me how
costumes
many
that
bullet
Jacques used
wounds
to
that
disguise
person
himself at
had.
the banquet. But, considering it now, it's almost certain that they belong to a third person at the scene. With one extra person, we'll also need to reconsider why the 2 shots were fired.
Again, how many bullet wounds did this person have? Many father got talking about. It's also possible third party was to blame.
You're right. We still don't know what happened. But my intuition tells me that we're on the right track to figuring it all out.
Give me the details. I want to solve this case now. I have such a good theory on it.
Was an empathetic man who was infinitely remorseful for his past actions. It's unlikely that he turned on Boss with 0 warning. I think this third person is probably the key
again,
to the
I just
full
told you
truth.
how it happened. I just need the evidence.
However, even though this will not please you, demoiselle, as your and your father's butler, I must still offer a word of warning. Our opponent is insidious and cruel. They are extremely difficult to deal with, and Boss has already lost his life trying to bring them to justice.
Yeah, but
even though Spina de Rosula has lost most of its former glory, Poisson has welcomed a new time of peace, and we have been allowed to live out our lives. There's no need to follow your father's plan.
Oh, there is. There totally is. If she's not gonna do it, I'm gonna do it now.
To step back and give up on the case.
If that's indeed what he wished for, then he should have told me that himself. Was I not the closest person to him? And yet, I was the one most kept in the dark. What was the point of him dying without sharing any of the secrets he knew? Did he manage to protect anything in the end?
Again,
is still here.
Tell me more about the scene of the crime and what happened. And about the death and about the wounds.
Getting by. Nothing has changed. Did he think I'd just accept his meaningless death and live out my life just as meaninglessly?
Come
I've
on.
never accepted that. Ever. Not since that day, and certainly not now.
Great. Then if you want to
find out
continue,
the
give me more
real
intel.
answer for everyone's sake. For the missing girls, for the victims, and for myself.
Navia.
This is indeed the best moment to act. Your partner appears to be quite reliable, and more importantly, demoiselle, I think you're also ready to take this on.
So you do know something else, Maloose?
Oh?
Yes, I do. In fact, even before that banquet, Boss already knew of the connection between Synth and the serial disappearances case. But what drove all the tensions to the boiling point was the revelation that you, demoiselle, had been selected as the next target to disappear.
How did he know that?
Boss also didn't tell you that he had been diagnosed with a rare illness. The doctors told him that he had no more than 5
So he
years
wouldn't have
left
lived
to
much
live.
longer anyway.
And the serial disappearances case caused him great anxiety. 5 years was nowhere near enough time to resolve this long-standing conflict. But once he passed away, all the danger would pass on to you. Knowing all of this, he decided to use one final intimidation tactic before his death. He claimed to have already gotten his hands on some key incriminating evidence for the other side, and even told some members of Spina de Rosula about the details. But as long as you remained safe, he would not share the evidence with the public. If something were to happen to you, then he and all those he
What a
told
bluff.
would immediately expose all they knew about Synth and the disappeared victims.
Right. So nobody would be able to get off scot-free.
As we've seen, Boss's tactic has worked. Even though Boss has been gone for a long time, the other side has not tried to take
Until
Demoiselle's
recently.
life.
No, I don't believe it. He never appeared to look sick to
Again,
me.
add on until recently.
father
They did
wants
try to
their
take her
daughter to
life
see them
recently.
weak and haggard,
In this very stream, they
especially
tried
someone as
it.
proud as Boss. To him, dying in a duel and suffering lasting dishonor as the unfaithful was still far preferable than losing face in front of his daughter.
So he chose to die in silence, so that he could protect me.
That's
I'm
what it
afraid
appears to
you're
be.
not understanding this correctly, demoiselle. What Boss wanted to hand to you was not a parasol, but a sword. If Boss's spirit could hear you telling me that you want to find the answer for the sake of everyone involved, I'm sure he'd be extremely proud.
That fool. Couldn't he have just given it to me straight?
Apparently not.
No.
Had to be
He might have set
mysterious,
up
yeah.
everything precisely because he never thought I'd be able to understand him. Is that the
There's
amount
the
of
animated
confidence
tears
he had
again.
in me? And what if I was never able to make it to where I am now?
He gave you the choice to live how you want.
Yeah. I suppose that's true. With the way he'd set things up, if I had wanted, I could have just lived out my life without a care in the world. But thankfully, he rarely talked to me about complex matters.
Damn.
And thus understood little of me as a person. In this case, he really didn't need to give me an easy way out. Huh. Malus, what was the key evidence that he shared with you?
Alright, let's hear it.
Location where synth is produced.
Oh.
Essentially, it's the enemy's headquarters.
Then I can just walk right in there and kill
When he
everyone.
was threatening the enemy, Boss didn't share the specifics of the incriminating evidence he found. But if you want to use it against the enemy, you'll still have to take several things into consideration.
Listen, here's the thing. He said he wouldn't share that evidence as long as his daughter was safe. Now, as of today, they actually did actively try killing his daughter. Therefore, the deal is off the table, and I can just waltz in there and kill everyone. Even if they try to use the primordial water against me, it doesn't affect me at all because I am not from Fontaine, so it doesn't mean shit. So why don't I just walk in there, kill everyone I see, and walk back out? Easy plan. Right?
Why? If we know where the place is, can't we just go storming in?
You mustn't forget that we're fighting against a mysterious and dangerous organization that's been in operation for decades.
Yeah, and I have a child that
There's no
likes blowing
telling
things
what
up.
might
What
be
more do we
lying in
need?
wait at their headquarters. We also have no idea what kind of evidence we may be able to find inside, nor what people we may be able to capture.
Why capture
A
anyone when we
single
just
visit
can
to
just
their
kill them all?
headquarters would be tantamount to a formal declaration of war.
They declared war on
The
us.
worst case
They
would
tried
be
to
that
kill
we
her.
leave empty-handed, but also open ourselves up to full retaliation.
Then, in that case, why not work with the Fontaine authorities?
Well, you saw one of them dissolve during Mr. Linney's case. We have no idea just how thoroughly they may have been infiltrated.
I mean, that's fair
That's
enough.
Seems my father really had no choice. But things are different now. It should be a lot easier to prove the other side's guilt, now that we've connected Synth with the disappearances case.
You sound like you've put a lot of thought into this, Malus.
I am the butler, after all. I live but to serve the boss and Demoiselle's will. I've always been willing to take on any kind of risk for your sake.
Oh, let's hope he
Considering
doesn't
my
die.
relative lack of ability, I've spent my time keeping secrets, performing basic investigations.
There
and
might be a chance that he's gonna
waiting
die in
for
this
the right
story
time
at some
to come.
point. I hope not.
Thank you for all of that, Malus. Have you discovered anything new in the past few years?
Let me think. One conclusion I came to was that the enemy must be quite familiar with Spina di Rosula, or at least have an informant planted here.
Don't tell me it's
When
you.
I announced orders to the organization's members on Demoiselle's behalf, I used to deliberately keep a few people in the dark and observe the reactions of the synth vendors. If the vendors didn't change their plans, then the individuals informed of our orders must be innocent. If the vendors packed up and fled, however, then someone must have given them the news.
That is a good
After
strat.
several rounds of testing and investigative tracing, I've narrowed the suspect list down to 3 people.
It could be either all 3 of them,
First is Florent,
or,
Spina di
or
Rosula's
2 of
senior
them.
advisor.
Maybe it's just one of them. Who knows?
Huh? Florent?
Yes, surprising, isn't it? He was one of the people Boss trusted the most, which also means that he was someone who understood Boss really well. Thanks to his position within
Potential
Boss's
horrible
innermost circle,
backstabber.
he always knew our upcoming plans and could thus avoid capture this whole time. There's someone else like him too. Marcel, the head of Confrérie of CodeErr.
Uncle Marcel.
What is this, confrérie?
It's a guild in Poisson. A boss helped it to grow to its current size and prominence. In the beginning, they were only reselling some daily goods, but now they're one of the richest guilds around with a lot of business connections in the city.
Would be kind of tragic if that person is a backstabber after how much they've got the boss to thank for.
Yes, you can say that. When we were fighting against the synth dealers, they provided us with plenty of support. It's a bit difficult to imagine someone using their own money to hunt down themselves.
Yes.
The final suspect is Thierry, the man responsible for coordinating information between Spina di Rosula and the guards.
Fair
Although the
suspect.
guards mostly leave us to our own devices. There are still
Plus, there
many
was someone
activities we
among
have
the
to
guards
report to the
already
local
who was
authorities.
working for those people.
Since Thierry is always in the know about our current activities, he could theoretically always plan one step ahead.
Yeah. That is currently the most suspicious person
All
just because of
people who I
his
communicate with
status.
quite regularly. To think that the enemy we've been fighting against has been right next to me all along, among those I trust the most. It's almost too hard to believe.
If you want to investigate them, please take every precaution to not alert the quarry. Judging from our experience, the enemy is extremely cautious.
Of course.
Let's do
And
this.
thank you, Malus. You've provided us with a lot of great information.
You're too kind, my lady. I'm just doing my duty. And before I forget, proving Boss's innocence would also mean clearing him of blame in Jacques' death.
Yes.
After that incident, Jacques' wife and daughter were taken into the Spina's care. They still live in Poisson today. If it might help, you could also pay them a visit. I can make the necessary arrangements.
I don't see a reason to do that right now, but eventually, perhaps.
A new case awaits, my dear partner.
Leave it to me.
I hope we can work together to uncover the truth and end this case once and for all.
Okay, there's the first piece of evidence. Rainy night. Goes heard 2 gunshots outside the house. A gun in his hands, Jacques had been shot and slain. But how many gunshot wounds did he have? Tell me, was it 1 or 2? I'm thinking it was just 1. Please clear this up, would you? And then there was no possibility that anyone else could have done the deed and escaped. The cause was thus... Yeah. Why do they refuse to tell me? Seems like such a crucial piece of evidence. Oh yeah, he was shot. There were 2 gunshots, by the way. 2 gunshots. He was shot, but we can't tell you how many times he was shot. We can tell you the exact number of gunshots that were fired.
Please
Yeah.
excuse me and enjoy your conversation at your leisure.
Thank you for arranging everything for us, Malus.
Alright.
Excuse me, miss. Do you need anything from us?
Well, someone looks a bit mean there.
Hey, Navia's all quiet. This isn't like her at all.
Let's not bother her for now.
I'm sorry that I only came to visit after all this time. After what happened, I didn't know how I was supposed to face the 2 of you.
Ah, if it's about that, there's no need to apologize. After my husband died, Spina di Rosula sent us a lot of mora and support. I understood your guilt and apology to be genuine.
Yeah, but he wasn't actually the
Aren't
culprit,
all of
you
those
know.
things nothing compared to the loss of Jacques? I can understand the kind of pain that comes with losing a father so needlessly.
You don't understand at all.
Oh,
I didn't know how to
pointing
face him,
fingers now?
because I didn't know what I could possibly bring as a consolation gift. I know only the full truth could bring closure to you. And to all of us.
So we're doing an investigation now. We're finally looking into the case again some more.
I appreciate the sentiment, but you don't have to carry all that guilt. On the matter regarding my husband, my daughter and I have more or less found our answer already.
Which is?
Would you mind sharing it with me? I really can't believe that my father could ever bring himself to shoot
Again! Compare the gunshot wounds to the number of shots fired!
He told me countless times that if he could turn back the clock, he would never go into the synth business again. He had many regrets, and felt that he took the idea of providing for his family too literally. For the longest time, he thought Mora was everything. So when Mr. Callis came to him with a proposal, he accepted it almost immediately. He tried to be as careful as he could, but even so, he was still found out by the higher-ups.
Stands as the stupid child to the one who also lost her father.
betrayal?
Yes. Very stupid child.
Papa didn't say that exactly, but Papa did tell me that I should never be ungrateful.
Before he left that day, he told me that he had no choice. It was only later that I realized it was his final farewell to the two of us.
Does that mean someone ordered Jacques to take out Callis?
I don't know that for sure, but you could say that's the conclusion I eventually came to.
Nah. Again, that's not what happened there.
I'm the one who should feel guilty. Callis had always
That is
taken
not what
good care
happened
of us,
there.
both when he was still alive and after he passed away. Even if he fired the shot that killed my husband, it was likely in self-defense. It is impossible.
He did not fire the shot. There was someone else at the scene.
But Mama, why is Papa still the bad guy if he did the right thing? Papa always
He is
wanted
the
to be
bad
a good
guy.
man.
There was someone
have to put
else.
that
My
thing
God,
in?
why is it so hard to understand?
Things aren't always as they seem. You still feel like your papa was a good man, right?
Yeah. Papa was a really good man. The best in the whole world.
There was
Then you
another
should hold on
culprit.
to that. If a good man had to do a bad thing, then he must have had his reasons. Regardless of whether he left you a parasol or a sword.
Well, look
He
at
must have
that.
done so to give you a better life.
Oh.
Thank you for everything you've told me. I will definitely find the truth. The current state
So
of
I
things
think
is not something
the
I'm
reason he
willing
said
to
something
just
about
sit
not
back
having a
and accept.
choice was because he figured he was being followed, I imagine. He probably figured someone was following him, ready to
Even though
take him
your
out.
personality is quite different from your father's.
That's my
your
guess.
determination when you speak is really similar.
You really think so? That's the first time anyone said that to me.
Testimony from Jacques' family. Believes that he had struggles. Kill Callis. Did Callis act in self-defense? Or was there more to the incident? There absolutely was more to the incident!
Are you okay, Navia?
But they refused to give me intel!
I'm fine. Don't worry. Let's investigate the 3 suspects next.
Yes, let's do that.
Laurent should be nearby, and we should be able to find Thierry and Uncle Marcel in the city. I'll get myself together on the way, so please don't worry.
Alright.
Greetings, boss. How may I be of assistance today?
You're the
I'm sure
culprit!
you've heard about what happened at the Opera House? Someone got turned into water right in front of us.
Yeah, I've heard. With something that dramatic, I'm sure journalists will milk it for all it's worth.
Yeah.
It'll be all the talk for the next several weeks.
It also reminded me, on the day that the incident happened with my father, it was raining outside, and we found some clothes left at the scene.
Yeah.
After my partner here put the dots together for me, I feel like we should try to reopen his case. Can you do me a favor and try to recall what happened that night?
Alright, let's see what you can tell
Let me
us.
think. Mr. Callis was feeling pretty upbeat that day. So he was drinking and bantering away with us at the table. After that, he told us that he wanted to go get some fresh air. so we let him go without thinking much of it. Who knew that we would hear 2 gunshots ring out right after?
Yeah, I know they keep saying 2 gunshots, but they never specify how many wounds that person had.
Toward the scene. But when I got there, it was already too late. Mr. Callis was standing over a dead body with a gun in his hands. All we could do was look back and forth at each other, not knowing what to say.
So you also remember 2 gunshots then?
Yeah.
Indeed. The guard said that the first shot didn't hit anyone, while the second killed Jacques.
Okay,
But
so that confirms he
really
only
got
had
that
1 wound.
explanation. Reason being, Mr. Callis had left his gun on the table. I even made sure to confirm that before running to the scene. But according to the guards, that doesn't mean he couldn't have had other guns on his person. About the clothes left at the scene that you mentioned. Do you think there was a 3rd person there who was turned into water?
It's very possible. So, if we are assuming he didn't have any other guns on him, then that could mean someone else showed up, shot that person, he disarmed him, shot them, but they turned into water. That would explain some stuff, right?
At
It's
least
very
from
possible.
our perspective, my father had no reason to kill. So he would also have no reason to bring an extra gun with him. The gun he was holding probably belonged to Jacques, or a 3rd person on the scene.
I am guessing 3rd person.
That makes a lot of sense. So you're saying Mr. Callis ended up with the gun because he seized it from one of the other guys?
Not that funny.
But hold on.
Well, the one who planned everything was
That's
still
what
the
had
guy.
happened. Then why didn't he share the truth with any of us? He didn't even want to face the Oratrice machine, and chose instead to prove his honor in a duel. Did he lose all faith in the courts after seeing someone dissolve right in front of his eyes?
Yeah, again, nobody would have believed him. Fuck
About
you,
that,
Windows.
Malus told me a thing or two. So, I think I can understand why he committed to the duel.
That's the first time that has
Tell me
happened during a
everything,
stream.
Once the whole truth has been revealed.
And I hate it here now.
I understand.
First time that happened during
I'll
a
leave
stream.
Mr. Callis's honor
Can
in
I
your
just
hands,
turn off
boss.
all Windows
And if I
notifications
may just
somehow,
say one more
please?
thing. The whole
I do not want to hear
Callis
that
the
sound ever
Unfaithful
again in my entire
It's
life.
been a thorn in my side since the day it was invented. Many people have laughed at me for still calling him Mr. Callis, even after so many years have passed. But it was Mr. Callis's trust that allowed me to rise through the ranks of Spina di Rosula and live the life I lead today. No matter what others might say, he'll always be the man I respect the most. And he'll always be my boss.
Alright.
Don't worry. I will definitely find the truth.
But that might just be a
You and
facade
all our
here.
other
He
comrades
might
at the
just be
scene
lying.
Deserve to know the truth as
But
well.
we'll see. I think we'll finish talking to the suspects, I guess. So he was very grateful for his kindness. On the day of the case. Endowed. Okay, did not carry a gun. Alright, back to the city. 2 more suspects to interrogate after all. Well, that was easy. Again, this is currently my prime suspect as to who the informant might be.
Hey, Thierry, it's me.
Oh, now, what brings you here, Miss Navia? I've heard that you made quite the name for yourself at the Opera House.
Oh, so you've got news of that already.
Oh, okay. Hey, I'm also a member of the guards, you know.
That he
The way
is.
you make it sound,
But there was
people
also a
would think
member
I
of the
was sent
guards
off
who was
to
involved
Poisson
with,
because I had
with
done
everything, you
something
know?
Are you sure there isn't a little bit of truth in that? Under normal circumstances, shouldn't you have been called back to the city already?
I mean, where I work is really up to me. Let's just say I enjoy the ambiance of Poisson. Callis did a
Is that it,
fantastic
huh?
job running the town, building Spina di Rosula from the ground up and clearing many obstructions in my way. It would be next to impossible for me to find a similarly easy but high-paying job in the city.
Ha, is that
Anyway,
so?
Enough chit-chat. Are these 2 friends of yours? You, here for some formal business?
Ah, yes. These two are my partners. What happened at the Opera House made us realize that Linny's case and my father's may be related. We're trying to reinvestigate the details of my father's old case.
Ah, I get it. You think there might be more to the case now that we know people can be dissolved into water, right? I was also flabbergasted when I first heard of it. If you want to go through the original files from your father's case,
that would actually be helpful, yes.
That'd be much appreciated. Thank you. Actually, I have another question. Do you have the authority to dispatch Gardamex?
Of course. Without them, I couldn't possibly.
That makes him even more suspicious. But then again, we know that the ones that were used weren't official ones.
To forcefully get more evidence for your father's case.
That's not what we're talking about, yeah. But those weren't official ones.
Recently, we were attacked by a horde of unnumbered Gardamex in the
Exactly,
city.
they were unnumbered. So anyone else could have gotten them, probably.
If you hypothetically wanted to do something against me, all you would need to do is get rid of the mecha serial numbers and send them after me.
Then you think too highly of my abilities. Dispatching mecha is very different from controlling them.
Oh?
If I had to make an analogy, when you order a dish, the chef will make it for you. You can ask the chef to cook, but not to massage your shoulders or carry your baggage. If you try to make unreasonable demands, the chef would just think you're out of your mind and ignore you completely. The same goes for me and my Gardamex.
Is that so?
Removing a serial number is also not as easy as you might think. There are a lot of complex steps to it, and it's almost impossible to keep it a secret. So I can promise you, those mecha were definitely private units.
Alright.
They're certainly not cheap.
Let's trust those words for now.
Whoever their owner is must be super rich, powerful, or both. Now that you mention it, though, being in the synth business would definitely be profitable enough to afford this.
Makes sense.
Oh, then you're officially in the clear, Thierry.
I wouldn't put people in the clear so easily.
Well, thank you for the vote of confidence, Navia. Jokes aside, I'd like to wish you all the best with your investigation. I'll be staying in the city for a little while, so just come find me if you need any support from the guards.
Alright, alright. One more person. Official contact between the sufficiently rich people can get that number. Alright, one more person. Actually, wasn't there a teleport point down here? Ah, no, none nearby. Okay. And there we go. Final suspect located. Actually, no.
Hello. How may I help you?
I'm here to see Marcel. Could you please let him know? You can just say Navia's looking for him.
There we go.
Sure. I will let him know right away.
After waiting for a while, Marcel arrives in a hurry.
Ah, Navia, hello. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm not as young as I used to be, so my legs are giving out a bit.
Oh, it's all right, Uncle Marcel. There's no need to stress. I just
with a lot of them, it's gonna feel very painful if they're gonna be connected
I'm sure
to
you
it.
saw everything too, right?
Because of the...
Yes.
Because of how she feels
I've never
about
seen
them.
anything so strange.
Oh, you were at the Opera House too?
That's right. I went there with Navia to see the magic show. Who knew it would turn into a whole murder mystery?
That is,
I
yeah,
also
that was a
witnessed
bit of
her
a
marvelous
yikes when that...
sleuthing work. Quite impressive.
There was a lot of stuff
to
that
beat
went
the
down
Hydro
there.
Archon at her own game on her own turf. I can already imagine everyone in Fontaine discussing your exploits over a few glasses of wine.
Just wants to find out who put it there. I mean, fair, yeah, but still. Still gonna suck, either way.
It's just how Fontaine is.
Because
as a
even
nation.
so, she has to suspect
Everyone loves
some
drama
people
and
she's
the
very
actors.
close to.
Uncle Marcel,
Two of which are gonna be
also
innocent,
noticed that other
probably.
thing, right?
She
The
still
fact
has to
that
suspect
humans
them
can
now.
dissolve in water?
Yes, I was reminded of your father's case right away. Is that what you're investigating now?
That do be the thing.
Exactly. I still don't have much solid proof, but I can sense that the other side has already begun to act.
Oh, and what makes you say that?
We were attacked on Arrhenius by some unnumbered Gardamex. And there was also an attempt to get me to drink water from the primordial sea.
Yep,
If
yep.
not for the vigilance of my partner, I probably wouldn't even be here.
Yeah,
talking to you
vigilance, let's call it that.
Oh, you're giving us too much credit. Wasn't it you who protected us?
Alas, it seems things are heating up again. The peace that Callus sought so dearly will soon become a thing of the past. But rest assured, Navia, Poisson will always remain a safe haven for you. If you're scared, you can always return there. If anyone dares to lay their hands on you there, the Confrérie of CodeErr will use its funds to the last Mora to bring them to justice.
Oh, we'll bring those people to
Thank you,
justice
Uncle
anyway.
Marcel. But I don't intend to go into hiding. I'm going to strike while the iron's hot. Do you have any new thoughts on my father's case?
Let's hear them, let's hear them.
About that. Sorry, my age is catching up with me, so it'll take me
Oh.
a while to recall my memory.
Oh. Immediately telling her, hey, you can just, you know, what about all the peace and everything? You shouldn't investigate too much. You'll always have a safe space. And then, oh yeah, I don't have such clear memory anymore because of age. Suddenly Marcel seems a little bit more sus.
And the rest was history.
A gunshot?
Oh, it's okay. No need to push yourself.
I know you just said, you know,
We'll ask
not
around
memory
some
isn't
more.
as good
See if there are
anymore.
any valuable clues elsewhere.
Sounds good.
Marcel, I don't know. You just said a gunshot. And I know you said you don't have clear memory, but that seems like you're using it as an
I'll
excuse.
spend however much it takes to clear his name.
Suddenly Marcel seems the most sus. He do be old, it is fair, he is old. But he was also the first to talk to her about, hey, as long as you stay in your safe haven, everything's gonna be okay. What about all this peace that he worked for? You should totally just, you know. Seems like he's trying to, not directly talk her out of it, but he did kind of, it seemed like he was trying to steer her back into that direction at least a little bit.
The same as I remember.
Leader,
But
Also the
where are
banquet.
those who share the memory?
I've always maintained a close working relationship. Though his recollection of the events of the past is quite foggy, he's willing to defend. Yeah. I don't know. Again, he do be old, but he do be sus. Very suspicious indeed. Alright, let's go up. I know I said I would investigate the suspects, but I'll get on with whatever conversation's gonna happen here as well.
Suspects, purely based on their conversations with me.
None of them sounded particularly suspicious.
Marcel maybe a little bit. Yeah, none of them really stood out as a suspect. Marcel stood out a little bit. Again, might be just old age and everything, but still.
I suppose that's to be expected, though. If a single conversation's all that's needed to find them out, then my father wouldn't have needed to investigate the case for so many years.
Again, though, I feel like
Even though we
Marcel's
didn't make a
kind of
breakthrough,
looking at least a
let's
little
still compile
sus.
what we were able to find.
But where should we start?
Jacques' motive.
Ah, you're right. Flora mentioned that Callus probably only ended up with the gun because of circumstance. That makes sense.
Yup.
According to Jacques' family members, he already told them that he had been discovered, and that he had no choice before he left home that day.
Yeah, he tried to get to him,
If
maybe
I had
seek
to guess,
protection.
He probably received an order from the synth boss to kill my father.
Could be.
Had he refused, he and his family's lives would have been forfeit.
Could be.
So, Jacques fired the first shot?
I don't think so. Jacques, I wouldn't have. If I was Jacques, I wouldn't have fired a shot at all.
Oh? And why is that?
Could he guarantee his safety after killing Callus? Could he guarantee his family's safety?
Ooh, that's a good point. Jacques probably already knew that he was just being used as a tool for murder. And once he had completed his mission, he'd be of no more use to his boss.
Huh.
Very true.
So, what would make more sense from his perspective would be to turn his back on the order and seek protection from my father.
Seems the third person was the one who derailed everything. what I said.
Makes sense. But without evidence, that's still just a theory.
A game theory! I'm sorry.
Besides Jacques, the attack from the Gardamex has been bothering me quite a bit as well. It's obvious that our enemy has become more antsy after the secret of the primordial seawater was revealed.
Uh-huh.
Do you think he knew, even then, that we'd follow this lead to the end?
Given everything that's happened since, it's quite possible. But
Alright
who
then.
among the 3 suspects would have the ability to control privately owned Gardamex?
Again, they said it's different from controlling. He's the one who has access to them and he can send them off, but he said it's different to controlling them. But out of the 3 of them, this is the one that makes the most sense. Like, none of the others have really given us a clue that they have access to the Gardamex, you know? Neither of those have given us a clue. So Theory is still the one who has the most, like, access to Gardamex. Even though I want to point fingers at Marcel right now.
Thierry, you say? Huh. It is possible that he's figured out a way to convert the Gardamex for personal use. But I didn't feel like he was lying when he was talking to us about the mecha. I also don't think he'd be able to keep that kind of tampering.
Again, but he does
under
seem
wraps.
like the only possible suspect for that
Had
so
he
far.
actually tampered with the mecha, we'd be
A
able
lot
to
of
prove
money,
it with
yes.
a simple check of the guard's inventory.
He has access to them.
Were taken from the
Like,
guard,
and I think the
it's
other
not
2
really
both
easy
have
to
money.
find out when and how that happened.
Maybe it was someone else. So, can I point fingers at Marcel, the one I do want to point fingers at?
Uncle Marcel? My father did really trust him. And they worked together on a large number of projects.
Yes.
Maybe that's how he got to know Jacques. And with funds from the Confrérie, he could also afford a large number of Gardamex. It's still really hard for me to imagine, though. After all, Uncle Marcel has been around since I was just a child. Also,
Even so, yeah.
Asmini has been spending a whole lot of Mora and energy to fight his own synth business.
Maybe it was someone else. But it would have been a nice cover-up, you know? That only leaves Florent as the...
Florent?
Florent as the remaining choice.
It is true that he was closest to my father, and thus had the best chance of learning about his dealings with Jacques. But as Spina di Rosula's advisor, his work mostly deals with personnel and security, so he shouldn't have much means when it comes to finances.
But the entire organization would have access to the
Broke
finances.
to afford a mecha army?
Yeah, but if he works with the organization, they would take care of the finances. He's just a bit player.
I don't think he would
Doesn't
be able to dispatch a whole group so quickly. Who could it be?
I think. Again, just because he's broke doesn't mean the organization can't afford that stuff. Just talking about money, then he could definitely do it. He seems sus because of memory. Ironically, I had most suspicions about this guy at in the beginning, but now I'm actually the least suspicious of him out of everyone. I think it's either him because close access to everything, and money wouldn't be an issue if the organization was financing the Gardamex. Or him because he was trying to cover it up. I'm gonna pick him. Again, I was pointing fingers strongly at Marcel, but it is true that he was spending money to fight against those people as well. Just kind of got a max, so only one person really fits the bill. Then it has to be Marcel. It has to be the one who I suspected from the beginning, right?
You know, if you think everything through, Uncle Marcel is indeed the most suspicious.
Doesn't
of them
change the
all.
fact. Why would money for an individual? Why would the money one individual person has be a problem if we already know there's a big organization behind it? Just because one of the people working for that organization is broke, doesn't mean they couldn't still finance a bunch of Gardamex. So I don't see the reason as to why him being broke is enough to disprove his involvement. You know? That's the one gripe I have with this. That's the one reason why I didn't point at Marcel right away. Oh well.
Could we be missing other suspects? Malus didn't know about the people turning into water thing when he narrowed it down to these three, did he?
I mean, fair.
Malus has always been very reliable, and his judgment of others' trustworthiness has been fair and well considered.
But what if it was
When he
Malus?
laid out his case for the three, the
Please tell me it's
rationale
not
he gave me
Malus.
made a lot of sense as well. The suspect is knowledgeable about the Spina's internal affairs.
It wouldn't be,
has
right?
the means to dispatch
It couldn't
Mecha to
be.
assassinate us, and possesses significant intellect and foresight. Even if I don't want to believe it, I'm starting to see how things could all tie back to Uncle Marcel.
He is someone who's close to you after all.
Well, we still have another trump card on top of all the theorizing and speculating.
The synth production base.
Yes, Malus did say that charging straight in there would be extremely risky. But we don't have any other options right now.
Well, I'll do that next time. Ho ho ho.
We need far more solid proof before we can hope to go charging in on our enemy.
Navia, here you are. Oh, I've been looking for you.
Hello.
Huh?
Person who I was initially suspicious of.
Did something happen?
Yeah. News came from Irenaeus just after you left. We've got another trial on our hands.
Wasn't that place built specifically for holding trials? What's so newsworthy about this one?
I know. But they said the person they're putting on trial is a Fatui harbinger called Tartaglia.
Child? Wait, what? What's going on now?
Is that someone you know?
Oh, it is. It is someone we know. Oh, yeah, that is a cliffhanger.
Maybe even a little
Oh, the
too well.
cliffhanger is real. I hope you're excited for next time
He's been
tomorrow.
accused of being the true culprit behind the serial disappearances
They're
case.
pinning it on the Fatui again?
It's absurd, don't you think?
Why do they keep pinning it on the Fatui? I mean, it's easy
None
to pin
of
it on
our
the Fatui.
investigations have
I
had
get it.
anything to
They're
do with
already
him.
assholes.
That's what I
So
thought
you
was
know.
strange about it, so I came to tell you the news right away. If the charge against him stands, then it'll be next to impossible
Tomorrow?
to get the guards to
Yeah, it
support
would be
any of our
today,
planned
technically.
investigations.
It's past 0,
Right.
yeah.
Because they'll think they've
Just look at
already
the
found
schedule,
the
you'll know what
culprit.
I mean.
Yeah. And it'll be a lot harder then to clear Mr. Callus's name.
Alright. Let's see.
I understand. Well, partner, what do you think we should do? We still haven't found any conclusive evidence.
I mean, I guess we'll investigate a little bit more next time then. Let's split up, gang!
Huh? Split up? What do you mean?
You can go, while I'll go and investigate that place.
Just as expected of my partner.
Again, if they try to use primordial water
Since this
against
is a
me, it's not
trial
gonna do
about
anything.
The serial disappearances case. The
Gotta save
culprit's attention
Tartaglia, yes.
Will be focused on Irenaeus.
Tartaglia.
Leaving his home base wide open. You're right. This is our best opportunity. All right then, let's do this. I'll stall them at the Opera House and charge Marcel as the true culprit.
And if they realize
I
what we're
won't have
doing,
any
then now
chance
we
of
know
making
that
that
it'll be
charge
that
stick,
guard
though,
who was the
unless
flaw.
we find more evidence. It'll
Again,
be up to you to make it back in time
we'll
and hand the
if
decisive
they see our
evidence
moves
to me.
coming, we know the guard is the one who let the info slip. And if not, we know we know it has to be one of the other two. Perfect. It's not as great as Love Machine, yes. Leave it to me.
We'll help you, just like you helped us in Lenny's trial.
Demoiselle, please allow us to accompany you.
Yes, I know about the meme.
Ah, Malou, Silver.
I know it's a
When
reference
did
to
you
the
two get here?
Rasputin song.
We
I know.
heard that you'll be leaving Poisson and figured that you might
I've seen
require
it.
our assistance. It's our hope that your confidence will be bolstered with the two of us by your side.
Alright.
Thank you so much. Then, let's make haste for Irenaeus. Paimon, Traveler, I'll see you at the Opera House.
Yes, in a few long hours. Suspect analysis combining information regarding the Gardamex and the investigation results so far. It can be concluded that there is only one person who can have a large number of Gardamex in his possession and run the synth business without leaving traces. This person is none other than Marcel. More info to follow next time.
Now that Navia has set out for Araneas,
Whoa!
we should also get going.
Why put me out here?
The location has already been marked on the map, so let's head over.
Bam, bam, bam. I guess I'll have to do some walking. It was kind enough to put me near where I need to be. But that is not where I'm gonna do stuff this time. I'm gonna teleport away from there right away. I'll pick my teleportation target accordingly. You know what? I'll file Tartaglia after the stream ends. I still need to do the some weekly bosses after all. I know the week has only just started. I'll fight Tartaglia after the end of the stream. Keep it on brand, you know. So I'll teleport over here right away to get out of Fontaine. Alrighty then, let's grab the achievements real quick and then we'll see who we will raid today. Was there anything else in here? Probably not. Yeah, figure it. Alrighty then. Let's see who our target is going to be. It could only be one person. Or multiple people. We'll see in a second. Who is live? Who could we target? Who is kind enough to receive my raid? Oh, Alex is live. Alright, alright. We have decided in that case. Alright, Alex, let's go, let's go. Danganronpa time, more investigation time. You love investigations, right? That was going on today. Oh boy, the heart-pounding excitement. Are there really only 2 people here? There's no way only 2 people are here. So it's just Spinne and me? No one else? Just Spinne and me? No one else is here? Did everyone leave already? What the fuck? I don't like raiding with less than 3 people. I haven't been in this situation in a really long time. It says 2 people are ready to raid. 2 people are ready to raid Alex Gambits now. Count as -1 viewer. Do you want me to unmod you or something? How? That feels really unfair. Why does it say only 2 viewers are ready to raid? You know what? I'm gonna do the thing where I cancel the raid. I'm gonna try it again. Let's try this once more. See if the number fixes itself. 2 viewers are ready. I mean, it tells me that I have 4 viewers. It tells me I have 4 viewers. Didn't show up. It's still saying 2. It's still saying only 2 are ready. View all 2. Oh no, that's not what that was. View 2 things. That was the pinned message. I get What the hell is this? I don't like this. I guess I'm not gonna raid today. Alright guys, no raid today. You can head over to Alex Gambits if you want to, I guess. I'll give it one more try, you know. Show up for me either? What the fuck? What is going on? Maybe, you know what, I'll do it via chat. I'll do it via chat this time. /raid. I'll use the command instead of using the stream manager. Maybe that'll work better. Let's see if the command will do its thing. Raid has been created. Oh, 3 people! And that is just barely enough for me to actually do it. Okay. The command works! The command works! The stream manager doesn't! Why does the command work when the stream manager fails? I don't know. In any event, thank you so much for watching this, despite the struggle towards the end. Let's share some love with some other investigation, and I'll see you around next time. Until then, everyone, have a good one, and bye-bye. And of course, if you're watching this stream after it's been uploaded as a VOD, your support has also been greatly appreciated. And who knows, maybe you'll be able to catch one of my streams live in the future. I would certainly appreciate that, because Genshin seems to be very unpopular on my channel. In any event, thank you for watching, and yeah, I'll see you around. You'll see links in the description, by the way. Till then, bye-bye.